played last week, and I don't remember anything about it, so I don't think he did bad.
No, he wasn't bad.
Yeah. So if we have to go to Thunderdome, we're fine.
That's true.
We don't need you, Shane. We have interns.
It's funny, we were knocking around. It was the team home run leaders. Each team's all-time home run leader, and I was like, I don't know if I want to give this here. I kind of want to have that for a Chumps question. We went ahead and did it. Then I thought, well, that wasn't going to be here anyway. It wouldn't have mattered. I couldn't have used it anyway. I'm glad we did it then and didn't save it.
Well, you and I did it, right?
Yeah, we knocked it around.
Well, maybe I'll do it tomorrow. Anybody go find out if Todd's listening right now. Because Todd's the kind of guy that'll study for that, because he's a competitive prick, I believe, is the term that Eric Bieniemy used about Todd Lebo many years ago.
He did.
Yeah. No, actually, that was about Patrick Mahomes.
That's true.
But Todd's got a competitive streak in him. Don't kid yourself.
Yep.
Don't kid yourself. Tim Grunhard will be with us in the 4 o'clock hour. Did you see the big news, Curtis, about Tim Grunhard?
I did.
Hole in one today.
How about that?
Hole in one.
I didn't know Cool Crest was still open.
Well,
he got it under the windmill.
Under the windmill, through the clown's mouth.
Mm-hmm. Well done, Timmy.
Yeah, it was impressive. He said the orange ball never fails. So that's the key, apparently, to getting the hole in one. And then Mike Renner from the CBS Sports, formerly of PFF, will be with us. And he wrote, I read it, and I don't even remember what the hell it was. What did I read?
He's ranking first-round draft picks.
Oh, that's right.
2020.
Yeah, the top first-round draft picks since 2020. And we'll talk about that, where the Chiefs' picks rank.
Yep.
How they did.
KC Icon. There's even a street named after him over in Shawnee.
No, that's not the same guy.
Oh, okay.
Different guy.
Okay.
This guy's a bro.
That seems like that would have been too much.
First time we had him on, Eric Eager was still, they were working at PFF, and Eager was still there, and he's like, I go, give me something on Renner that I can, that I don't know, that's not in his bio or whatever. He's like, well, he's a total bro. So my question, the first time we had him on, was, would you consider yourself a bro? And he goes, yeah, probably.
Do people think you were in the town?
In the town? The show, the movie The Town?
It's Jeremy Renner.
Why do you think of Jeremy Renner as a bro?
No, his Renner.
I see. I wouldn't draw that connection.
Were you in the town?
Yeah.
No, that's my brother.
Yeah. I don't know. It might be.
Every often he goes, whose car are we going to use?
Who knows? Who knows? I want to start with something that we were going to do yesterday that we didn't get to. The top 50 off-season moves. ESPN did this little ditty, if you will, with the top 50 off-season moves, like top impact signings, trades, and draft picks. So it could have been, any one of these. And the Chiefs are mentioned. There are players that are either coming or going from the Kansas City Chiefs 5 times. Okay? Number 3, Trent McDuffie to the Rams. And that wasn't just a free agent departure. The Chiefs got picks for that, which they obviously used. Most of them they basically threw at Mansour to Lane, so almost a 1-for-1 in that situation, but a big cap savings, I'll point out. Kenneth Walker was 17. That's the Chiefs getting him for just money. Jalen Watson was 18. That's leaving and giving the Chiefs nothing but cap room. 21 was the Chiefs selecting Mansour, trading up and selecting Mansour to Lane. And 40 was Brian Cook to the Bengals. So 3 leaving, 2 coming. I will at least say that the expenditure for at least McDuffie that brought back returns. Right? Cook and Watson are just gone.
Yeah.
But they do, I think it's an important part, is to talk about the cap space. So I want to point this out we just took their biggest offseason moves. There are obviously other things that happen. You can throw in Josh Williams like 2 for 4 or 2 for 6, 3 for 6, or I can't remember what he got. He got something like that. There are a couple other smaller guys that left, and there were a couple other pickups. But what I did was just take those departures that were in the top 50 moves, according to ESPN, and then put how the Chiefs replaced them. Okay? And then we'll quantify it by cap. So when when people tell you the cap's not real, right? And we've gone over it a lot, and even I think we've brought Seth Kaiser around. He's like, listen, I still think it's fake, but it's kind of, I think the best way to put it, Eric Eager has always, I think, put it best. He would tell us, in any 1 year, the cap's not real. For 1 year, you can do whatever you need to do. But in the big picture, you're eventually going to pay for it.
That's a good distinction.
And I will tell you, like, when you're like, well, he counts this against the cap, and here's his bonus and this and that. The simplest way, you don't have to be a capologist, and you don't have to go try to figure it out if you don't want to, and the over-the-caps and the SPOTrack websites that are there to track contracts and everything. The simplest way to think of the cap is any money that they actually really give to the player, they will have to account for on their cap at some point. That's the way you do it. Now, there is a caveat to that in the sense that trading likely to be earned bonuses and trading so if you give a guy a signing bonus of $60 million and you sign him to a 5-year deal, that signing bonus is going to count 12 and it's a $100 million deal overall. So it's $20 million per year on average per year APY. The $60 million in bonuses counts 12. So if the first year salary is $1 million, he's $1 million plus prorate that signing bonus, $12 million, he counts $13 million. But they've given him the 60. So somewhere in there, they're going to have to count for the 60. So they would cut him at the end of that year. The $48 million has to be accounted for. It will be accounted for that year, or they can designate it as a quote-unquote post-June 1, which you could really just think of more since they don't actually make you wait till June 1. They used to actually make you wait till June 1. Yeah. That's why they call it a June 1 cut. Now you just designate it a post-June 1. So you basically, they might as well just call it as a now cut or a 50-50 cut. Yeah. And so that 48, you can either take the $48 million this year, we don't have the cap room. Okay, take $24 million this year, and you're going to carry $24 million of dead cap next year. That's the rule of thumb on how it pretty much works with the cap.
There's no interest. Like, well, hey, if you're going to spread it out, they charge more. There isn't something like that.
Nope.
For some reason, that option just popped into my head.
Nope.
I guess it wouldn't make sense.
And with the cap going up every year, that's why most cuts end up being post-June 1 cuts, where they take the hit now and next year.
Smaller percentage in the following year, maybe.
It's why I think, a team at some point, it's just basic, simple math, is going to be like, we suck, we're cutting everybody, and we're restructuring all the contracts to take the hit now. Like, if you have a player, like if you were restructuring and you didn't have Patrick Mahomes, because you wouldn't have Patrick Mahomes, it'd be terrible. Although this was a year where they were bad. So if you wanted to take Patrick Mahomes' contract and you wanted to say, we want to get right, and you flushed everybody that you could flush, and you create a bunch of cap room, and you say, okay, yeah, we're signing Pat for another $500 million, and he's going to count $140 million this year, $150 million this year against the cap, and we're cutting everything else. That would put you in a great situation moving forward, because now he's very cheap, which works twofold. A player like Pat, you're not going to trade, but if you did something like that with a player like Chris Jones is eminently more tradable if he's going to count $5 million on someone's cap than if he's going to count $35 million, right? And that's where the backloaded contracts, nobody wants to take them on. Wait a minute, you want me to give you draft picks and give up 15% of my salary cap? I'm not doing that. And I have to pay the actual cash? That's where the cap starts to be something. In any 1 year, you can do it, but in the Chiefs, in moving away 3 of these very important players, they moved Trent McDuffie, who ended up signing 4 for $124 million. This year, the Rams have backloaded that deal with the signing bonus and everything. He's only going to count just under $11 million. Okay? Jalen Watson left. He went 3 for $51. That's $17 million per on average. This year, though, he's only going to count 7. All right? And Brian Cook went to the Bengals on a 3 for $45. His deal, he's going to count 14. The Bengals had more cap room, and so they're going to take more of a hit here. You can see that the Rams are really pushing that money off to the end. They're going for it right now. They're bringing those guys in as cheap as they can right now because they know they don't have that many more years with Matt Stafford. Myles Garrett is now, they've acquired him, and he's 30 or 31. They've got like the next 2 years to really try to make it all happen. And then after that, they're going to do a reboot, right? That's what these figures tell us about what the Rams' long-term plan is. But I want to point out, those are the numbers that they sent away, right? So let's start with Brian Cook. How did they replace Brian Cook? They signed Alohi Gilman. 3 for $24, so $8 million per, but the Chiefs are only taking a $3.5 million cap hit this year. Again, pushing the hit on down the road, right? Then how did they replace Trent McDuffie? Well, they drafted Mansour Delane. Mansour Delane, because he's structured on the contract, 4 for $42.5 million, right? But this year he's only going to count $7.6 million because, again, they backloaded it. And then I even went with Jalen Watson, and gave him a couple of guys that they're going to replace him with. One was, what's the kid's name? Because we only put the initials down.
Kohu.
Kohu, 1 year, $2 million, $1.8 million. And then
Cater Kohu.
Yeah, Cater Kohu. And then JC was
Jaden Kennedy.
Jaden Kennedy. Drafting Jaden Kennedy in the 4th round, who's on a 4-year, $5.6 million. He counts $1.2 million. So in all, in those 3 major moves that went away, the Chiefs moved what collectively was 10 years, $220 million worth of contracts for 12 years and $74 million worth of contracts. The cap hit this year for all those players will be just under $32 million. The cap hit will be $14 million for the Chiefs. And where did that $18 million go? It went to raises for Chris Jones. It went to raises for the players they already had. So I like these moves. I like where they have these moves and where they've, gone ahead and quantified and said, okay, here are the important ones. The important ones that the Chiefs have done, or they've either, gained or lost, the ones they've lost. Where did the money they saved go? Well, it went to pay for the raises that are built into the contracts of Chris Jones and Trey Smith and Creed Humphrey, and to a degree, Kenneth Walker.
Yeah.
Getting Kenneth Walker in the mix. That was because, again, I'm not counting Alohi Gilman because I'm counting him as, well, this is the direct replacement over here. But so where is that difference? And we factor that out. Where is that being paid? It's being paid there. And so this is where we talk about if you really want a Trent McDuffie and you think letting Trent McDuffie go was a problem, you need to see the contracts that you signed before that. That's why it's so important, because they had to make that move just to be able to line up and play. They couldn't afford Trent McDuffie, or they were going to have to cut somebody else.
Yep. You can't throw 10 out there.
Now the question I will ask you now is: how much production will they get? How much of Brian Cook will Alohi Gilman be? How much of Trent McDuffie will Mansour Delane be? And how much of Jalen Watson? And listen, the direct replacement is going to be Christian Fulton if he's healthy.
Yeah.
It's going to be Noel Williams.
Big if, but yeah.
Playing more.
Williams expect.
That's really where it's going to be. But I wanted to get people that weren't on the roster that they brought in. They lost a guy who they bring in. Those other guys were there and going to be theirs anyway, as long as they didn't cut them. And so how much of a replacement will they be? And if you can say that, listen, I think Jalen Watson's good, but if these two guys are healthy, I think we've got 40, 50% of it. Okay, then Noel Williams needs to grow in his role the amount of 50% of Jalen Watson. Can he do that?
I think so.
I think so.
I think he was 50% of Jalen Watson last year.
I think so. And I think if you've got, a healthy, which is a giant if with the guy, but when he's healthy, I think Christian Fulton is a good corner. And when we saw him healthy, I thought he played well. And he only played half the year. So, in a way, a big part of Jalen Watson can be taken up before you ever even have to say how much did Noel Williams improve. Because just if Christian Fulton can stay on the field, I think Christian Fulton can play. I think he can be 80, 90% of Jalen Watson. I'd be interested to hear that, like, on their best days, is Watson better than Fulton? Because I'm going to tell you part of the reason why Fulton's only getting $10 million per from the Chiefs. He signed 2 for $20. So the natural reaction would be, well, 3 for $51. Clearly, Jalen Watson's a lot better. Jalen Watson's a lot more available.
Yes.
And your ability is largely tied to your availability. Christian Fulton would not have been the Chiefs if he had been a rock and played every game every year. He was available, and the Chiefs took the swing at it and said, if he can play most of the time, okay, maybe we get lucky and he plays all the time, but this is what we have to spend, and this is the guy we're going to get. But I will tell you, when I look at this, and I think Kennedy's a bit of a player, I'm looking forward to getting up to camp and seeing him with my own eyes and see if he can go. But I like him. I've got to get better at pronouncing Cater Kohu, because it doesn't roll off the tongue and it doesn't pop to the top of my head.
Just think about it. Lafetta, they cater.
Oh, okay. Cater.
They cater.
And who do they cater?
To Kohu.
Whoever you are.
Exactly.
Kohu.
Okay, there you go.
They'll cater to whoever you are.
That's right. But Cater Kohu actually played good football in Miami when he was healthy. Again, he's a hurt candidate. Canada's a rookie. There's a lot that can go wrong. But I really do think that it is possible for this secondary. It is possible for this secondary to be as good as it was. It'll be different, potentially better in some places. Like I think it's very possible that they will be much stronger at the 3 and 4 corner. They may lose something at the 1 and 2. They certainly won't be as good when the season starts, but I'd like to think that Kennedy and Mansour Delane and Noel Williams have growth in them, that they may grow into being collectively better than what the collection was last year. Because I don't think Najee Johnson was that good. I don't think Josh Williams was that good.
Mm-mm.
I think that's one of the reasons why they signed Christian Fulton.
Yeah.
I also think they signed Christian Fulton knowing they were probably going to have to trade Trent McDuffie. And I think the fact that Christian Fulton wasn't healthy was part of the reason why they went, okay, it would have been nice to feel like we don't have to go corner with this first round pick and just take another, development guy in the second or third round, but we have to go corner because we can't count on Fulton. And so I get, that was the wake up call and that's why they did it. But I am optimistic that certainly in the second half of this season, the secondary, because Brian Cook had one great year last year, but he was burnt all the time 2 years ago. Again, he played great football last year, and the market tells us that he is clearly thought of much higher, at least by the Cincinnati Bengals, than Alohi Gilman, because they could have given Alohi Gilman this money, and they didn't. They gave it to Brian Cook.
Mm-hmm.
And Alohi Gilman's a little bit of a journeyman. And so do I think he's the next Tyrann Mathieu? Do I think he's the next Justin Reed? I don't. But I am optimistic about the corners being better, you needing less from the safeties, and I'm optimistic that if Chamari Connor just focuses on safety, that there may be some room for growth there. So, look, we look at these top moves. A lot of it involves the secondary of the Kansas City Chiefs, and I think they've done a really good job of replacing everything they lost as best you can, and certainly understanding the cap position you're in. You put yourself there, but the cap position you were in, and then also upgrading up front, which we haven't even mentioned, how much better, how much easier it'll be to play in the secondary. If the defensive line gets home, it's like having Maddox, Glavin, and Smoltz. When all you got to do is handle 8 and 9, it gets a lot easier for your bullpen to kick ass. And if this opens up Chris Jones for single blocking and he's brings it more because it's largely a contract year for him and he's not double teamed as much, and so we get a better season, whether it's effort or just the logistics of the people around him, then I am optimistic, not predicting, but I'm optimistic that this defense can be as good and coming down the stretch better than it was last year, because there was a degree, thank God they were good in the secondary, because it was smoke and mirrors up front. Yeah. And the blitzes weren't getting home. I mean, there were a lot of games we'd watch. Here's the twist and the stunt, and here comes the safety, and they picked it up. Right? Like, so that's one spot that I think as we watch camp unfold, I do think the potential is there for this defense to be better at the end of the year.
And as beloved and rightly so as McDuffie was and as heralded as he was, I mean, I think he made the single most important play in that second Super Bowl win in the back-to-back when he rushed Brock Purdy on 3rd and short, got the pass knocked away, and they had to kick the field goal. But he did that from a position that for him to play and be effective, you have to be really good on the outsides. That's one of the things he specialized in, was playing that slot and being able to use his rush abilities. And I think that mitigates his value just a little bit. And we started to see some cracks last year in the coverage when he was forced to cover bigger guys. And he's only 25, but that's not going to get any better. We saw the way Dallas abused him with big receivers. There's big guys out there. So there are going to be games this year where the Rams fans are like, how is he getting smoked? I mean, very good, but I think maybe I feel like the job of recreating him, even in the aggregate, isn't as great as is, I guess, perceived by a lot of people. I think he's been a fantastic player, but I don't think he's a guy, well, Trent McDuffie, he's no way you can replace him. I think there's a good chance by the end of this season, we're like, he's better. Mansour Delane might be a better player at the end of this year than Trent McDuffie is at the end of this year. It's possible.
I think it's possible.
Or at least by the end of year 2.
I will say this, he has to be good.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
that's for sure.
There's no world that has the Chiefs. I guess I don't know. I guess where's your optimism on what L'Jarius Sneed is going to bring? I'm almost like
Not much.
If I arrive in St. Joe and see L'Jarius Sneed playing safety, I'm going to be super happy.
Yeah.
That's if he's the other safety, which he played in college, and he can just cover as part of like we're blitzing and now I got to cover a guy.
He's a
here
heavy
and
guy,
there.
reads the field well.
I'll be happy. I will say this, like call it, and maybe we'll do a couple of these, but call it terrifying things to see that are not out of the realm of possibilities.
I like that idea.
Okay, terrifying things to see that are not out of the realm of possibilities is L'Jarius Sneed and Christian Fulton lining up as the top two corners in the base defense.
Mm-hmm.
If Mansour Lane and Noel Williams are behind him, and let me add on. Let's go all the way to full on nightmare. Both Jason and Freddie Krueger chasing you. Okay, and that's Shamari Connor at the slot.
Yeah,
like if that is where. It's like, well, they know the defense, which Christian Fulton didn't, was what we kept hearing last year as to why he couldn't get on the field. But if they go all old guys on there, because Noel Williams, and they were pretty blunt about Noel Williams not really knowing his roles. Well, if you haven't reached Noel Williams now, and he's not playing because he looked pretty good at the end of the year.
Yes. And there were people, when you were seeing in the offseason, sometimes you get these, we're going to redraft this draft. I saw one that ESPN did where they redraft, and they had him as a first-round pick.
Yeah.
So the goods are there. There'd be no reason for him not to be out there on the regular.
913-810-810, Chiefs, Sporting Royals, Missouri, K-State, KU, always a topic here in the program, 913-810-810. Phone lines are open. Coming up at 3, we'll play the feud. Keep that in mind that you cannot play today. I just realized that again. You cannot play. Just keep that in mind.
But you can listen.
You can. But that's coming up at 3. We'll also get some Lebo sounds here from a lot of what's going on up at training camp. Tim Grunhard still to come here in the 4 o'clock hour. Mike Renner talking about the drafts and where the Chiefs fit as far as how well they've done really over the last 6 years. That's all coming up here today in the program. All right, we're talking some Chiefs football. Full camp is in swing. The veterans are there. They are on the practice field. Not right now. They were there this morning. We talked Chiefs football to get things started. Impact moves that were made. They made some of them, bringing them in. Some of them were the guys leaving. But now getting the full squad on the field, we'll see what they start to look like, how they start to take shape, what the word is. I know people are giddy, excited about Cyrus Allen.
Who looks good? Does he look good?
If Cyrus Allen is a number 2 wide receiver.
Yeah. I saw a guy.
A lot of things start to fit together.
Oh, yeah. I saw a highlight package on one of the social media things, and a guy that I'd forgotten about, and I thought, man, he wasn't like a Pro Bowler or a big star name, but if that kind of guy would be on this team, Albert Wilson.
Well, that's the comp I had for him.
If
we did it on our Red, Gold, and Bold on our draft comps.
If he's Albert Wilson, that's a nice.
It's a nice get.
Yes, because Albert Wilson just got open all the time.
Well, let's load it.
Did he or was Patrick Mahomes?
It seemed like he was.
Pat would find him, and Andy could scheme him.
He was before. Yeah. I think he was here before Pat was, though, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, but I always remember seeing. Well, the guy gets open a lot.
Listen.
I mean, he's not.
Who wrote the piece on in the Athletic about the play callers?
Ted Wynn.
Ted Wynn wrote a piece ranking the top play callers, and he do it by tiers.
Yeah, just 1 through 32.
1 through 32. Number 6 was Andy Reid. And there was some commentary that the defensive coordinators are like, and this was, he did it based upon what defensive play callers.
8 different DCs or defensive personnel.
Defensive coaches. And basically the write-up was, you don't stay up late at night like you used to. That maybe it's gotten a little stale.
Mm-hmm.
So I do think whatever Cyrus Allen is, Andy Reid has to step up his game.
Yep.
And it's not necessarily maybe that's how Pat liked to play. These are the things that he likes to do. But I do think I think it's a giant year for Andy Reid. He's 68 years old, and he's got the strongest voice when it comes to the personnel. Ultimately, Brett Veach's team puts it all together. But if Andy's like, I have to have a wide receiver, they would have taken a wide receiver, right? And he didn't. And they took 2 defensive players up early. So Andy's saying our problem was our wide receiver coach and our offensive coordinator. And we needed a running back. Because those are really the only additions that they made to the offense. They drafted Cyrus Allen. That's the next addition they made. So, okay. Okay.
Yep.
Maybe Kenneth Walker will take you from 21st, and a healthy Patrick Mahomes will take you from 21st. But I don't think there's any doubt this has to be a top 10 offense. Has to be a top 10 offense.
Yes.
913-810-810 for me to say, no, we press on. Andy doesn't need to adjust anything. We're all good. Whenever he comes back, God willing, Eric Bieniemy is the guy to keep rolling along there. That's what it's going to take. It's going to take this offense being top 10. And I would even say, and even that, I want to point out, we have dumbed down the standard from where they were a few years ago, where the expectation was that they would be top 5. Like 6th was the lowest they were in any of Patrick Mahomes' starting seasons until the last 3 years when they've gone 9th, 16th, and 21st, or maybe it's 20th in yards. They've fallen a lot. It's time to start climbing back up there. 913-810-810. Ryan, you're in the program. What's going on, Ryan?
Hey, what's up, Sturin? How are you?
Good, man. What's on your mind?
I've been listening, and I'm just kind of wondering, we've been talking about, if Cyrus Allen produces this year, if this defensive line is good this year. I'm worried and maybe more focused on, what if they're not as good? What if this team goes 8-9 or 9-8 and misses the playoffs? What type of consequences or actions do you think this front office takes? Do you think they overreact, or do you think they underreacted, in my opinion, what they did this year?
So wait a minute. Which one? You said both. I assume you're saying you think they underreacted.
This year, yes, sir.
Let me ask you. Let me ask you first of all. Did you hear the first segment of the show? Just yes or no?
No.
Okay.
At work, sorry.
Okay, that's all right. Life happens. That's why I just want to know the context.
Why didn't you take the day off?
Yes. I just want to know the context of which we're having, because I talked about some salary cap things there in the first part. Okay, and so you feel that they underreacted to the problems, and we could sit here and go, well, what would you like to have seen them do? And you will tell me, well, get a wide receiver, and they should have gotten a young tight end. And I wish 3 years ago they drafted this guy instead of this guy, and all that. Let me put it this way: when you set up your team the way they've set up their team, there was no ability to overreact for the Kansas City Chiefs. They didn't have the resources to do it. And so, in a way, you could say, well, I think, because you can't even say they overreacted by trading Trent McDuffie. There was no world where they could sign Trent McDuffie and make the cap work without absolutely devastating future years. And so that's not even an overreaction. So to your point, what would it take? It does depend on how it looks and what injuries occur. If Patrick Mahomes goes down, I think, there's your get out of jail free card. Well, the quarterback wasn't healthy. He didn't play. He only played 6 games. You get a situation like that, it looks like the Bengals. The Bengals don't really change anything up. They just go, Joe Burrow only played half the games. Let's try to keep Joe Burrow healthy. And they go out and they invest in a lot of, giant offensive linemen and try to keep him upright and make a go of it. I think you'd see something like that here. But if Patrick Mahomes plays 17 games and this offense sputters to about 16 and the Chiefs come home at 8-9, right, and Mahomes has played them all, I mean, the Tom Brady comparisons have come off, at least the Tom Brady and Bill Belichick comparisons will have come off the board, because Tom Brady didn't make the playoffs once the year he was out all year. Otherwise, he made the playoffs every year as a starter with the New England Patriots. This will now be 2 years that Patrick Mahomes played the majority of the games and wouldn't have made it as a starter. It'll be, I just rattled off, what was 1, 5, 3, 1, 6 for offensive rankings has become 9, 16, and 20 the last 3 years. And if that number's 18, 19, 20 again, if it's 14, then I think you have to say that going and getting another guy who used to play in the band to come play the same tired-ass songs didn't work. Like Andy Reid needs some new tunes. And if Eric Bieniemy didn't bring him, and if Joe Blameyer, who, by the way, is also listed as one of the more, one of the potential breakout assistants that people are looking to, that he could have a big role or get a bigger job, parlay this into maybe an OC job someplace else, or maybe he'll be the next OC here. But if you've brought everybody back and it doesn't get better, then some serious changes have to come. So what would it be? If I were the owner, I'd be like, Andy, how are you updating things? Because you're 68. I love Andy Reid in the offseason. I love Andy Reid, the CEO. I love Andy Reid, the team manager. But Andy Reid, the offensive coordinator, is not getting it done. So how are you going to fix that, Andy? And if Andy's idea is like, no, we just need some time, that's the only way I see a scenario where Andy Reid doesn't, either his health or his decision to leave the team, the only way I see it not being Andy Reid's choice is a scenario like that. And I don't know, how many years do you give a legend to get it turned in the right direction? For me, I give him this year where it's all to his own devices. But if it's not better and he doesn't come to me with serious wholesale changes, then I would fire Andy Reid. And that won't be popular. It will be popular with some if the team's 8-9 and has Patrick Mahomes. But you can't pay Patrick Mahomes, make him again the highest paid quarterback, then turn around, have a piss poor offense and be like, no, everything's fine. Something's wrong. Either Patrick Mahomes ain't good anymore. I don't see that as the case. Or your play callers aren't good, or your personnel people aren't doing something. I want to know what the major changes are if this team comes about, and I think there would be major changes. I hope. But for me, it's the play calling of Andy Reid that is the biggest thing, Ryan, to answer your question. I think that is the most underreported story in the country today when it comes to football. Everyone's talking about Pat's leg, and I think nationally everyone acts like Pat missed the whole season and that they went 6-11 because Pat was out. They were 6-8 and barreling towards 6-9 when he went down. And, or they were 6-7 and barreling towards 6-8 when he went down. And then, they weren't a good football team with him. So that's not the story. The story is why the offense sucked. Because it had Pat. And this organization has said, Pat ain't the problem because we're paying him again. So then if you suck again, then go find me the problem. Does that answer your question?
Yes, sir. Yes, it does.
Appreciate it, Ryan. 9133-810-810. Let's talk to Ted. You're in the program, Ted. What's going on, bud?
Hey, I want to talk Royals, but I want to comment on what you just said.
Okay.
I think the timing on the Eric Bieniemy thing is, the tragedy with his family. I think the timing on that with the Chiefs is a tough one. I hope he comes back. I do think he lets his voice be known, and I think Andy needs a little checks and balances when it comes to the play calling, and I think Bieniemy will try to push that running game, and I hope he's there for the majority of the season. But I don't like it that he's not there now.
I think, listen, there's not a good time to have a family tragedy. We would all lead with that, as you did, Ted. We would all agree with that. It's a horrible situation. But, Sam put it very well yesterday, Sam McDowell, when he said, right now is when you really wanted Eric Bieniemy to be here, setting the tone, the culture, the work ethic, the practice habits. This is how we go about it. And really, I think a time that you're going to want him, because I have a little desk calendar I have at home that I put all the Royals games and sporting games and Chiefs games and practices and press conferences and then my little life things into it and everything, so I can see, well, okay, here's the day, this and that, whatever. But I was going through it and I was looking at it. They're going to grind. I was looking at all the days I wrote Chiefs camp, Chiefs camp, Chiefs camp, Chiefs camp in a row, and I'm like, yeah, this week is going to be like they're going to be tired and pissed, especially going into that first game. Then they come back and they grind through another week in St. Joe. And it's those weeks. I think it's the last 2 weeks in St. Joe, and they're really there for basically 4 weeks. It's the last 2 weeks that I think when they're tired and worn out and wanting to quit on a play or not maybe run it all the way to the end zone like they like the running backs to do each time, that Eric Bieniemy would be on them and be making it clear that that's not how it's done. And so, yes, first and foremost, take care of your family no matter how long it takes. If it takes the whole year, it takes the whole year. Whatever it takes, you do it. But the most critical time is now, and the most critical of the critical, in my opinion, are when they're really grinding through the final days in St. Joe. That's where Bieniemy would be at his absolute best for this team.
Yeah, you can't break bad habits in the middle of the season or during the season, and they brought him in. They brought him in to break bad habits.
Yep.
With this team. So, in regards to the Royals, I don't know if I heard it right, but I just caught it on Jason's show. He talked about somebody, said that JJ was going to be loyal to Lugo and to Waka, and so they weren't going to get traded. How about being loyal to the fans? If that's the way, if that's what was said, how about being loyal to the fans? I bought the TV package this year, and I've been a Royals fan for a long time. I'm going to have a hard time being loyal next year if some moves or some changes aren't made. It's tough, and I think they made a big mistake with Lugo. I was always wondering, did Lugo have a no-trade clause? He did not have a contract, but by signing this last contract, did that give him the no-trade clause?
I'll have to check and see if he's got, usually, first of all, if I were the Steelers have, I forget what it is they never do. Do they not give signing bonuses? Everything is always just salary. They have something that's just like, if you're going to sign with the Steelers, this is how it is. And if I were a baseball team, there would be, I would not offer a no trade. Now, if he's one of your guys and he's outperformed his contract and for a second contract, then I'm saying when I bring a guy in from the outside, I would never have a no trade clause because I don't know that you're not going to get in here. Todd Lebo said it for years. You don't really know someone until you live with them. You definitely don't know them signing them off another team, right? And so they comes in and they're a jackass and you want to get rid of them. I want to be able to get rid of them. Now, when you've had a guy and he's played good baseball, I would be willing to give a limited no-trade clause. How limited? I don't know. Handful of teams that I would give you that, okay, you don't want to go to these places? Okay, fine, I won't send you to those places. But I would never give a full no trade.
I wondered if it was service. I didn't know whether it was service time.
Well, Lugo's the 28 year is based upon how many innings he throws over the 26 and 7 years. And right now he's ahead of pace for that 28 to lock in.
Yeah,
but he's got a whole another year that he needs to pitch to get there.
Well, I think that was a big concession on giving him a no trade clause with his age and everything, and 1 year of, I just hope we're not going into next year being hoping that Lugo's good, that we're hoping that Michael Massey doesn't get hurt, and we're hoping that Vinny doesn't get hurt. Those three things that's a lot of hope. You better produce next year, because if you don't do anything this year and you don't produce, it's going to be.
Well, Ted, you're unfortunately taking me right to what I wanted to talk about tomorrow. what based on the count with the Chiefs opening today, we're like, yeah, let's fire the Chiefs bullets today. We got a lot of Royals things. We're like, we're gonna kind of be Chiefs centric here. But I listen, Royals are always a topic, and I will tell you that one of the things. We'll go into more detail tomorrow on this, but September 22nd will be 4 years of J.J. Piccolo being in charge. I don't care that he was named general manager before that. September 22nd will be 4 years since Dayton Moore was fired. Okay, it'll be 3 drafts. I've always said 5 years in, you'll really know what you got. You won't even be complete fruition because you're signing 16-year-olds. So there'll still be 16-year-olds that you've signed that aren't there. But 5 years in, 4 drafts, a year from this September, 4 drafts, you have players that should be advancing to the system. Not all of them will be there. Jack Caglione's already there as far as their drafts. And Brian Bridges wasn't there for the first one. And so we are getting to a point very soon is what I'm getting at. And there are 2 major, acquisition time periods, offseason and trade deadline. And so you have been through many of those. And if you keep making the decision to stay with the guys from 24 and being loyal to them, and it's not working, then you will pay the price because your loyalty has to be to the fans and ownership in some order. Probably ownership and then the fans. And the ownership is only successful if the fans are happy. And so really, if we wanted to cut out the middleman, we'd say, you got to make the fans happy because that's when they buy tickets. That's when they buy subscriptions to the television package. All those things you talked about. And so, yes, we are getting close. It's great. You can keep Waka and Lugo, but you better win. And it's why I will tell you, I believe in what Brad Pitt said in Moneyball. You're going on the trip, Paul. Well, why don't you go on the trip? Because I can't get to know these guys. I got to be able to cut them. I got to be able to trade them. I got to be able to do what it is. Now, if you can go down and be godfather to 3 players in that clubhouse as kids, and you can still trade them when it's time to trade them, fine. Do it. But I think there is still a little too much Dayton Moore lovey-dovey. And that was, it cannot be denied that loving up your players was a part of why they succeeded in 2015. But also why they succeeded was a good collection of players turning the corner on how important the bullpen is and the Yankees and Red Sox being down. Okay? All of those things were factors.
And one of the things that I think doesn't get talked about enough with that 2014-15 group, there was a lot of guys in that group that had a lot of tenacity and seemed to have a bug up their ass, and
name me a couple names.
Moustakas, Hosmer.
But they were there in 12 and sucked. They were. I hear what you're saying. No. The winning makes them tenacious. When they were losing, they didn't hatch the tenacious egg up there under their rear end one day and be like, now I'm tenacious. Here we go.
They won because they were good.
But I am with you. I know what you're saying, Ted, because, listen, Moustakas drove some of the people in the media the wrong way. Sometimes they were not tough enough or not prepared enough, and Moustakas didn't have time for that crap, and he'd let them have it. I never had a problem with Moose. He was a red ass. I am with you that there was an element of you got to have. I hear what you're saying, but I knew the players you were going to say.
I mean, there was
talent wins. Talent wins, not tenacity, and not the guy who breaks the toilet with the bat after a strikeout. What wins is talent.
Yeah, I understand that. But this team won in 24 to a degree. I mean, they won a playoff series, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think and I think they've gotten softer. And maybe maybe last year just beat them down, but last year they started off the season and India got, I don't know, India got hit 2 or 3 times in the head, and nothing was done. They just seem softer. I don't see that tenacity. They did have a winning season, So
yeah,
that's just me.
I think there is talent. It's Ted, I'm going to let you go. I appreciate it, buddy. Good stuff. I do feel like there is they were talented and they were healthy, and now they're all 2 years older.
Yeah.
That's part of the equation as well.
It's like when I hear someone say, well, but this team that has no fire, and when they're not scoring runs. Well, a team that's getting 3 guys up and sitting 3 guys down, going back to the dugout, you're not going to see any fire.
I'll tell you what I see. Listen, I agree with Curtis. I am like, does chemistry create winning, or does winning create chemistry? I lean 70-30. Winning creates chemistry, right? You're winning. You got a good place to work. Like, I'm going to tell you what, there's chemistry in this building, and this company wins. Okay. In our own little way, whatever the scorecard is, but and that's no comparison to a baseball team where it is just the wins and losses. But the chemistry, because I've worked at places where things aren't going well. Everybody knows it's not going well, and it sucks. Okay, so I am a big believer, and it's why Johnny Damon wants to go play for the Red Sox or Yankees. All right, and because you know what, they're winning and it's going good, and you have the pieces you need. And I don't want people bitching at me that I didn't hit a home run at the end when I'm leading the league in runs scored and stolen bases, which is what people did with Johnny Damon. People in this town somehow singled out Johnny Damon because he left a situation that had an ownership group that had Carlos Beltran willing to sign a 3-year deal, and then said, we'll see if he'll take $1 million less. That's a fact.
Yep.
Carlos Beltran was going to stay in Kansas City. I think it was 3 for like 25 or 3 for 26 or something. And ownership said, we'll see if he'll take $1 million less. Carlos Beltran was going to not do what Scott Boras wanted, and he was going to stay. I know. I spent a lot of time talking to Carlos, and I know other people. And ownership said, we'll see if he'll take $1 million less. Okay? That's the environment that was going on when Allard Baird was the general manager of this team. And when that message was delivered to Carlos Beltran, expletives were said, and I'm out. And so the Royals were then forced to trade Carlos Beltran in his walk year. And Mark T and John Buck and Mike Wood actually isn't that bad a return for a Scott Boras client that is going to free agency. There's no chance he's going to just sign with you. There was no Mark McGwire, traded to the Cardinals by the A's in his walk year, but he would be open to staying, and they got him signed before he ever got to free agency. That was never going to happen with Carlos Beltran. So getting, 7-8 year big leaguers for a guy that you're getting for a couple of months, not a bad return. But that's why Carlos Beltran walked, right? So my point to this is, how does anybody want to be in that environment, right? Because the Beltran deal was first, then it was the Damon deal, and then it was the Dye deal in successive years, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe Damon and Dye came in the season. Dye came at the deadline, and Damon came before the season, and Beltran came the season before, is the way I believe that the best outfield that the Royals collectively have ever had was taken apart. And it started with that. So if you're Damon, why would you stay playing for a team that had a guy who was going to take a below-market deal, who was a young star, who was a future Hall of Famer? Why would you stay? Right? So there is something to building the chemistry and having a winning environment. There's something in it's building a place people are comfortable being. But I think the most comfortable part is, one, being paid. I mean, I told this kid, do I need a break? But I'm way late. Okay. Yeah, it's important. We'll take a break, and I'll expand on that next. All right, wrapping things up. Wasn't paying attention to the clock. I apologize. So we're running a little bit late here. We will play the feud coming up in our next hour. Like I just finished that thought with this, that I understand what the Royals are trying to create. They're trying to create a great chemistry, but players are not. Players are going to always take the most money, so you've got to do what's best for the ball club. And everything we find does say that he has a no trade clause. Seth Lugo has a no trade clause. I'm not really interested in spending a lot of time talking about Seth Lugo because I don't think anybody's trading for Seth Lugo. Nobody's taking on that money. Yeah. You'd have to eat all the money, and you still wouldn't get that good a prospect because I don't think anybody is that excited. They see a guy that's 36 years old and on the downslope of his career. Yeah. I think he can reinvent himself because he's got so many different pitches, but the question comes down to, will you deal Michael Wacha, right? Like, that's the one that has value. And at the end of the day, you need to get the most talent in here. Period. End of discussion. That's how you're going to win.
All right, who's the only player to go 10 for 10 or better from the field in an NBA Finals game? Brought to you by Twin Peaks.
Hour number 2 of the program begins right now. We're going to play the feud. Final week for intern iPhone. So we have said that he will get a chance to play the feud.
He's
this
eligible
week.
for prizes?
Like, didn't it feel like they used to be here longer? Now they roll in. They're here like 5 weeks
He's
and they're
probably
out.
got a vacation to go to. You going on a trip somewhere first?
Well, I work for the radio station in Manhattan at
Okay.
Kansas State, so I'm going to head back over there to Wildcat 91.9, help run over there for their exec team, and I got
Exec?
exec member.
Wow.
You're not wearing gym shorts and a T-shirt to that gig, are you?
Nope, I'm going to wear my my long pants for that one.
Got my Sunday pants on.
Fancy pants. Yeah.
Sounds like we have a K-State guest then. You ever get covering the Wildcats?
I will be representing Manhattan today. I'll be the only one probably doing that for the next few
What do you
weeks.
mean? What do you mean representing Manhattan?
I just, it's my place. I have no idea.
No. But I mean, Todd is asking you: do you cover K-State football?
I see what you
basketball?
mean. Not that you're just talking about today. Yeah, I do cover Kansas State. I do a lot of their play-by-play work and broadcasting work.
Sounds
There's
like if you need a guest here, we might have an actual person.
all kinds of.
They give you money out there?
The radio station for 91.9 pays me, but
Professional.
nothing.
He's a professional broadcaster.
There you go.
Through
There you
Kansas
go.
State.
We have a guest.
And what I just learned,
We'll have to figure out what his name is.
Yeah.
and stop calling him my phone.
Let's go to K-State
And he
expert
comes on as a
iPhone.
guest.
what I just learned is he can talk.
Yeah, he talks. He
Yep.
speaks.
Yeah,
He's ready to go.
he's good. He's good.
Yeah.
Hey, school starts in about 6-7 weeks. Time to get out there.
What? No, it starts quicker
I
than
know.
that.
I know. It's quicker.
I got a high schooler that starts on the 13th.
Let's get
Does
out.
that sound right?
Send them
not
back.
me.
I think the 13th, and then the college kid starts on
25th.
15th.
That's a real school.
Yeah.
Not some state school.
got
They
the
go up
fake.
there. They get after it. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
I think is Monday the 15th.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
it's
17th.
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 Yeah.
I got a 13th and a 17th.
Yeah.
So,
Time to
yeah.
go.
Good time. You don't start till the 25th.
25th.
Okay.
So way late.
Okay.
Best time to get up there in Aggieville. All the
Yeah.
freshmen are coming in. Get them all scared. Freak them out about school.
Go bully the freshmen, do you?
I'm not talking to the freshmen out there.
I don't talk to fresh.
I don't talk to the freshmen.
You're a senior now.
Yeah, I'll be going into my senior year, 21.
Grown ass man.
Yep.
Grows up and he's
Yep.
grows up and he's
Not
grows
talking to
up.
these children that are running around here.
Where do you
Okay.
where do you get your cold beers in Aggieville?
Well, he just turned 21 this summer.
Just turned 21.
been
His
back.
Kyle
When
sent him
you
on a
get
beer
your
run that
first
day.
beer.
Like, oh, great.
Where do you want to
think
have
we
a
had-
cold beer in
well,
Aggieville?
six-pack
from
of Modelo.
From my times of heading back there, Johnny Caw's Yard Bar has always been the big one in
Yeah.
Aggieville. I've heard all kinds of good things about Three Brothers that opened up, but I mean,
New spot.
What do you mean you heard about? Oh, because you don't
you've
have
had
an ID to
alcohol?
get in.
I
See,
you know, I've
Listen,
been able to.
Come on, no one's listening. When'd you get your fake ID?
I never got a fake ID.
Good boy.
Really?
Never
Yes,
had one
because-
either.
God, we had an intern who was a freshman. He was coming off his freshman year, and
He's 48.
His nickname was fake
What's up, fake?
Yeah,
because he'd had the fake ID for like forever.
I never wanted to look my dad in the face and say I got my fake ID taken
Yeah,
away.
see,
Didn't want to
that's
get
good.
arrested for that one.
Don't
so-
get it
proud of
stolen.
you.
What are you doing?
Yeah, duh.
Well, not stolen,
Using
but
a fake
taken
one.
from the bar. That's not stolen.
Okay.
Well, kind of stolen. Do kids still go to the Vista Burger out there?
I actually have never been, but
You've been there for 3 years. You never been to the Vista Burger?
I have been a sheltered man.
Well,
Apparently,
here's the deal.
for
Go over to Vista Burger.
eat a burger.
Right when you get out there, get a burger and a shake.
What about isn't there a famous donut place there in Manhattan?
There's the Varsity Donuts.
Yeah, that's what it is.
That's
Varsity
pretty good.
Donuts. Okay.
Been there a few times.
You can go there without being 21.
Yeah,
Okay. Make sure.
no alcoholic donuts out there. So.
And they might have them.
Don't
I
give
don't
him
know.
an idea.
I don't know. I'm sure one of the fraternities has figured it out. Reverse enginered that
Yeah,
somewhere.
that's
But
gross.
Okay.
all right, are you ready to play the feud?
Hyped up.
Really? Okay.
Yep.
I'd settle down a little bit.
It's not that
um,
big. It's not that big a deal.
You know,
Old pick.
from sitting here time and time again, that you have a decision to make. Who are you going to play with? You going to play with me? You going to play with Curtis? You going to play with Todd?
I'll play with Curtis.
All right.
Sat in the same
let's
room.
do it.
You know,
connections.
there's an extra $15 for winning the feud. You are aware of that, right?
I've heard.
Maybe
And
we
your
should give it
strategy is to
Timmons-
go with Curtis.
Yes.
You know that these questions tend to not be in your age demographic wheelhouse.
could be.
We'll be representing Gen Z today, and I'm nervous
See,
for
that's
that.
a good team.
I don't really know.
We
a
should
whole
have
lot.
Timmons
We've
buck up
become
even more
friends
for a
over our
Curtis
many
win.
hours in my little
Yeah,
studio
we've
there.
sat over there.
Yeah.
And
Should have who?
If you get a Curtis win, you get even more money. You pick
That's true.
Curtis.
Yeah, you get extra.
25 to play, 14 to win, 50 for
40 to
Curtis
win and
win.
go with either of us, but 50 if you play with K-Dog.
And win.
Incentivize him.
There you go.
Yes. Because he's won plenty.
It would
by the way.
actually be a tremendous financial decision for Kevin Timmons and Nick and Jake's because usually they wouldn't win.
Usually,
Right.
So he'd be money ahead.
yeah, you do
Give
the
away
math on it.
150 instead of 150 per 6 months
You could
versus
get
1040s.
Daniel Mack on that. Run the numbers.
Run some
Yeah.
stats.
Analytics.
Move the fences in. Let's go. Are you going first or second?
I'll go first.
You go first. Okay.
He's taking the bull by the horns.
Yeah.
iPhone.
Curtis
Attack
and
it.
first.
By the way, that's a small
Yeah.
I and then a big P in iPhone.
Mhm.
And then, no, you're not on my team. Who's going first or second?
well, you're going to go first.
I'm going to go first. Okay,
'Cause
so
he
it's gonna
just
be me.
turned you down.
He turned you down
No,
too?
but you're his mentor.
Far from it. He's made that crystal clear. Curtis is his mentor,
That's why I wanted to
which
play
is not a
with Curtis.
strong
You're
strategy.
his
but-
tormentor.
Yeah, there you go. All right, so me and then Lebo, and then it's iPhone and Curtis.
Yep.
I think Lebo just wanted to pick on Curtis. That's what I.
He
No,
wants to get the
Either.
easy jump.
Yeah, exactly.
we don't know how fast iPhone
Me
is.
against
Does his
iPhone.
buzzer even work?
Lebo against Curtis.
Let's test that
Was my-
buzzer.
iPhone.
There it is.
There we
it is.
go. He
There it
did
is.
it.
Go with that too.
Yeah, we're gonna
Well,
look
he
like a
should
champ.
he should have to buzz in with an iPhone like a chime.
He's also definitely Gen Z. Has no paper to write notes down.
I
He's
got
gotta
it all
keep
in the
all
middle
his-
space. I have no paper nearby.
You have a pen with you?
I've got a pen.
He's got
I
a
pull
pen.
it out of the
Do you
little
need paper?
cup. No, I'm okay.
Do you need some scratch paper?
All right.
a
Give me
pen,
back
touch
that
that.
show sheet.
a pen does
Here.
you no good.
Here's an old show sheet. You can write on that.
I'm just gonna write on the desk here.
Okay, let's dance this dance.
All right, give me iPhone. Give me Soren. 7 answers on the board. Name a coach who's had a blow up during a press conference.
Petro,
Soren.
Hal McRae.
Hal McRae's on the list at number 5.
Number 5.
Sirianni do one?
Sirianni not
sure
on the
he
list.
So we have control of the board, Todd.
Wow, this is during a
We gonna
press
play?
conference. Do you want to play?
I don't have
I don't have a
even
lot.
one on my mind, so
I've
I don't
got
really want to try
one.
to steal with that.
Let's play then.
Okay, let's play.
Might as well. Dennis Green,
Dennis Green, number
Okay.
2 on the list.
number 2.
I'm going to go with
Now, hold on.
playoffs.
There we go.
Jim Mora, number 3.
So it's coach, right?
So but it can be a manager, though. That
Can't be
counts.
a manager,
Okay.
yeah.
And so what are the answers we've got right now, and where do they rank? I didn't
Number
hear that.
2, Dennis Green. Number 3, Jim Mora. Number 5, Hal McRae.
Okay.
Can't believe Hal McRae is number 5. The greatest of all time.
The greatest
Yeah.
blow up of all time.
I disagree.
Oh, wow.
Number 1's the greatest.
Oh, really? What am I
Can't
missing?
wait to hear that.
So we said Jim Morris, and now I have to say a name of somebody out loud, don't I? I don't think they're going to be old enough to remember these good old ones. Press conference blow up.
Post game counts.
Yeah. How about it's me, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's just a jerk all the time. It's not going to be a blow up, but Sean Payton. Let's play a clip in the morning of Sean Payton. You got to run the ball downhill.
Steve Reich 1.
I'm blanking big time.
I've got one, but I don't think it's going to be there. But
You
I'm
guys
going to have
gonna
to
be
use
kicking
it.
yourselves. We've talked about several of these on the show.
I'm sure we will be.
Well, one of them, I just can't remember the guy's name.
Well, just describe it. He'll give it to you.
No, he won't. I'm going to go ahead and just take Dan Hurley.
That's a good guess. Strike 2.
Oh, how about does this count? He interrupted a press conference? John Chaney. That was a good one.
When I was him,
He was
gonna go after
gonna
Calipari.
kill Calipari. I'll kill you. I guess we're done. That's 3.
That's 3. Wow, that was bad.
All right, over to iPhone and K for the steal.
I am interested to hear
I've got
what we're missing.
4, but I don't. They're kind of variations. Mike Ditka once had a couple of blow-ups. Mark Mangino had the dollar signs.
I just got a text.
Jerry Burns went off, and Lee Elia was the one that, to me, that is when he went off on the fans, the Cubs fans. But that
So
goes so
stupid.
far back.
That was the one I was trying to
Yeah,
think
that's
of.
crazy. I wrote all those down too. So
You wrote,
He doesn't have anything written down his paper. What'd you write? You wrote something down.
I wrote the title.
why
of
didn't you
the-
talk more while you're here? You've got a good
was-
wit.
Actually, good
I
timing,
wrote the
too.
title of this one down as Coach Blowups. I put an underline under it, and I forgot every coach that has ever done it. I mean, my K-State brain only went to Jerome Tang because that's why I got fired.
Like Bill Snyder never had a big blow
Yeah,
up.
but Bill Snyder was quiet.
Never
and
had
I
a
was
blow
like,
up.
I don't think
Never had a blow
Belichick
up.
ever did anything
He did.
crazy.
He just didn't know he was blowing up
Yeah,
because
not
it
in
was in
front
the
of
same
anyone.
voice.
It was very quietly in someone's ear at practice.
I'm really
But I
angry.
couldn't think of any. I was trying to think of any like local teams that had something too in case of that.
I know
pop
number
up.
one now, Kyle.
Oh, I'm sure you.
I
do.
know number
You
one.
got texted to you?
Yeah.
Oh man, I'm gonna hate this.
Well,
I
what
didn't
do-
look at my
what do you-
text.
what do you
in time.
got?
I'm gonna go both recency bias and local bias and say Mark Mangino $signs.
All right, you want to know number one?
That's
Yeah.
my answer.
I'm a man.
Oh,
I'm 40. Yeah.
Gundy.
God bless.
Number
Wow.
one, Mike Gundy. Hold on, let me count up. That's going to be
Not many.
a whopping 50
Hey,
Oh, my
50.
God.
over to Seren Todd.
Fitty.
What else?
The ones you missed. Number one, Mike Gundy. 4, Herm.
Oh.
6,
You play
You
to
play
win.
to win the game.
6, Lee Elia. 7, Tommy Lasorda.
I was worried about Lee.
When did
Ealing.
Tommy Lasorda lose
I
it?
think his deal is more. It was a
He went off
mound
on
visit.
on a pitcher. He went off on Doug Rao.
There was a mound visit that people probably mistake.
Yeah, I
Where
feel
he
good,
go-
Tommy. I don't give a
I don't
blank
give
if
an
you
F
feel good,
how you
Dougie.
feel.
There's 4 freaking runs out there.
It's a World Series. You're done.
If you kids, if anyone out there who hasn't
Go
seen
find it.
How do we
it
not
is
get I'm a man,
fantastic.
I'm 40?
I'm stupid. I put
Yeah.
Oklahoma State out of my mind.
Well, you should also look up Lee Elia.
I will say this.
That's tremendous.
Oh, the Lee
I'm getting
Elias
texts from
trade.
everybody. People screaming at the radio.
How did I not think of Gundy? God
Kissy
bless.
face telling me I'm screaming at me. Craig Brenner texting the answer. I'm sorry, guys.
All right, give me Curtis. Give me Todd.
Here we are.
7 answers on the board. Name a Kansas State basketball coach pre-Casey Alexander.
Lebo.
Lebo.
Curtis.
It's that
Jerome
kind of
Tang?
sharpness you picked.
Jerome
You
Tang.
picked the
Number,
wrong one to go.
number
Yeah.
3 on the list.
Number 3.
Oh, God.
I'll say Bruce Weber.
It's going to be number 1.
Bruce Weber, number 4.
Wow. All right, hang on. I'm scribbling down
play.
names here.
Todd and Seren, pass or play.
yeah, we're gonna
Oh,
play.
we're playing this.
We're
We're
gonna
not
play.
letting the K-State kid get a point.
We'll go Lon Kruger.
He's not going to make it.
He's
Why
on
is
the
not
list.
name a K-State coach before it's not like favorite son? The guy who's been the most successful.
Frank Martin. There we go. That's your
Frank,
favorite
number
son.
2.
All right, well, based on that, then I'll go Bob Huggins.
There you go. He's on
Number
the list.
1.
He's number 1?
Yep, 1 through
You
4.
play
All,
1 year.
all out. 5, 6, and 7.
1 year. All right.
Lon Kruger was not on the list. What is
He
wrong
was
with
not.
you people?
Dana Altman.
Dana Altman, number 6.
I had him down. So now we've got 4 and 5.
Yep.
5 and 7.
5 and 7.
Well,
Come on now.
hang on, just settle down.
You settle down. I can't believe Lon Kruger's not on the list.
Just let me think for a
Here's
second.
the deal. They don't like him. K-State
Um,
people. They're salty.
I don't like you.
God, what was that guy's name? I'm blanking on. The Lon Kruger thing is just blowing me up.
Could be
here,
some
and I
older
can't remember
guys, too,
anybody's name.
though.
Wooly, Jim Oldridge.
Cream
Number
Day
5.
cream teams.
Neck brace.
Neck brace. All right,
Oh,
so now
neck
here's the
brace.
thing. I don't know if they.
Don't say any names in case you get it wrong. We still got chances.
I don't know if they're going to go young.
You only got 1 strike.
I know.
And it was Lon Kruger. I'm not going to
crazy.
get over this.
That's why I'm scared to go.
Jim Woldridge was
too
there.
old.
Lon
I mean,
Kruger
they've got
wasn't. This is weird.
3 great coaches before Lon. But I'm going to go recency on this since they didn't say Lon. I'll say the other one who was there, the tan man, Tom Asbury.
Yeah. Get that mic out of my face.
They're gone. Okay, so now we got to go old.
I have Asbury written down. At least I could have given a decent answer. I can't remember the.
You know the
I
old
got
people.
Tex Winter.
There we
it
go.
is.
Nice.
I couldn't think of his name. I kept
The
going.
triangle.
Ted. What was Ted?
I was
What
going
was
to
his
say
name?
you should try to find the right angle on this.
Is that
That's
100?
isn't
The
it?
full 100.
Full
Yeah.
100. Hey,
150.
iPhone, did you get to play the K-State category? You
No.
probably had stuff written down on that one.
Yeah, I started writing, and then you guys got all.
What
of
did you
them.
write?
Gave it-
What did you write down?
I wrote down Huggins, and then you guys rattled off 3 in a row, and I just
Okay.
realized that
We're-
I, should
we're not-
I just stopped writing.
Huggins
Probably
was
not gonna
number
happen.
1?
Probably not going to be
It's
your
'cause,
day.
I mean, he was recently in the news.
But he
for,
coached 1 year.
For what?
his-
What was he
well,
recently in the
didn't
news
he?
for?
I forget what he was in the news for. Was it like a
Getting-
DUI? or
getting
something?
fired at a DUI.
like a year ago.
Something like that.
That's
Yeah,
recent.
but
What, do you have a
They-
whole
they-
trash bag full of empties in the back or something? I mean,
Driving back for something.
he's one of my favorite interviews. I have nothing but dealing with Bob Huggins was never anything other than first rate. I have nothing
Yep.
I mean, he obviously made some mistakes in his life, but I have nothing negative to say about Bob Huggins. And Bob Huggins was absolute nails.
My one
to deal
interaction with him down at Big 12 Media Days and his 1 year was terrific to talk to.
Standing at the bar.
Came over and said, "Yeah, sure."
I'll Final Four.
Yeah, why not?
Bob Huggins was
Yeah,
nails.
he's great.
Shocking that I ran into him at the bar, but he was nails.
Nails.
Absolutely. Top shelf.
All right, give me iPhone. Give me Seren. 5 answers on the board. Name the best place to watch a ball game.
Petro.
Seren?
Man, I even waited a beat to try to give you a chance to buzz in there.
I was thinking stadiums for some reason.
I'm going to say your basement, your man cave.
The couch. I'll accept
Okay.
it. That's number 1.
Okay.
That's number 1.
Yeah.
How many answers are on this?
There's 5.
Let them play.
Really?
Yeah, let him play.
No.
The kid hasn't gotten to play
Okay.
yet. Let him
All
play.
right. All right. We'll let you play.
See what he's got written down.
So
Well,
he was buzzing in. So does that go to Curtis then?
Yeah.
Or do we want
I
him?
think he
Just
goes-
we're gonna let him go first
I think he
anyway.
goes first.
Okay.
We rarely pass on this game.
I don't really know the rules about passing.
I'm going to say at the stadium. Say live.
Number
you
2.
go.
How's
There you
that
go.
not number 1?
I didn't know if it was
Couch
going to be
is
like
good.
crowd. Does that count like all seats at the stadium? A suite, crowd seat? No. Okay. So what was just taken off the board?
Just in the stadium and on your couch, man cave.
But so
That's
in the
1 and 2.
stadium is different than someplace.
I've given you an answer already.
Okay. So now
Anywhere in the city. I'm going to say sports bar.
Number 3.
Was that the given away answer?
No.
It was not.
No.
Okay, because if I was say like behind home, is that
No, that would be in stadium.
Yeah,
Yeah.
stadium
That'd be
covers
interesting.
any seat in the stadium.
okay? Okay, that makes
Okay, that's what I was
Except
asking.
for-
Does it cover
okay,
any
Except for,
certain-
yeah, I'll
except for
say-
this
Huh?
one spot in the
The-
stadium.
this one spot in the stadium. I was thinking like
Ah.
tailgating, like when you watch a game outside of it.
There it is, number 4, outside
Okay.
or tailgating. The final answer, I gave it away. I couldn't be more clear.
Well, have you met me before? A friend's house,
clear as
Rank
milk.
I mean,
clear as glue. School glue.
All right,
I don't
iPhone.
even know what that.
What else you got written down?
Well, I've been trying
Now
to.
here's how you stall for time. Ask him what answers have been said.
Yeah, go. Yeah. So what answers have been
Oh,
said? 'Cause
number 1, couch.
okay.
2, in the stadium.
Yeah.
3, a bar. 4, outside and or tailgating.
Okay,
There's one answer left.
one answer left, and that's in which position?
The 5th one, I think.
That's, in,
number 5 is what we're missing.
He's doing a good job of asking.
that's good.
Now, and
He
then
was in
now
the
you say,
sentence.
how did you phrase it? Ask him.
Well, I think I've got it figured out.
Yeah,
So
country of origin.
the
Yeah.
so I like how you're stalling to stay alive because your brief tenure is going to end
Yeah.
right
Yeah.
after this.
I'm sure this is gonna be a day of for me.
Because it
Which is
covers.
most
You
days
said
are.
covers any seat in the stadium,
Yeah, except
Except
this
for-
one.
except
spot.
for one. I would say, is there? I'm just gonna say in a suite. I think that's probably.
That's
There
right. There you
So
go.
I was gonna
That's
say,
it.
say like
There
the
you
crown
go.
seats that are for the Royals. That's
Yeah,
also
good
behind
good
home.
idea. Letting them play,
Let him
Todd.
play. Let him have fun. Let the kid have
Good
fun.
idea. Let them play.
That's the full 100.
It's the full 100.
You notice they didn't say press
Full
box
Monty.
because it's usually not the best seat.
no,
I had it written down though.
you had written down what?
Press box. Just
I
for
thought
hell
of it, but I'm like, nah, it's gonna be a
I
suite.
was like, what?
Say let the kid play. He showed his worth.
All right, back to Curtis and back to Todd.
Yeah,
7
right.
answers on the board.
Curtis. No,
Go ahead.
no.
Go ahead,
Say
Curtis.
something.
Give it a shot.
Why not?
You have a better
Curtis,
chance of
what's the
getting it
answer?
Why
right
not,
than
Curtis?
letting the question be asked.
Curtis doesn't have a chance on this one.
Just say something.
We'll still let
Bobby
you buzz
Wood
in, but take
Jr.
a shot.
Bobby
Yeah.
Wood Jr. That's pretty good.
All right.
Go ahead. You
7
still
answers
fly.
on the board.
Killebrew.
Name a Christopher Nolan movie.
Lebo.
Lebo.
Well,
You gotta get
Oppenheimer.
Oppenheimer, number 1.
Okay.
Okay.
I did right.
We're gonna play.
Sure. We're no more
I'm not
passing.
very
He's
good-
writing things down. He knows these.
Yeah.
I'm not real good at this, by the way.
You're
I'm
okay.
on it. I'm gonna get one right here. I'm gonna take the Odyssey,
Number 2.
Inception.
Number 3.
and I'm
Now
cooked.
we're getting.
I'm cooked. So you got to be able to get.
I gotta hold on. Let's stall first. 'Cause now I gotta think
what's been said?
Oh, Oppenheimer, The Odyssey, Inception.
Where
1,
do they
2, and
rank?
3.
They're 1, 2, 3. How many
They
are there total?
There's 7.
And what was the question again?
Dude, where's my car?
Ask Craig to send me some text right now.
Bobby Wood Jr.
Yeah.
Name a Christopher Nolan movie.
That's right.
I've heard him
Birth
rattled
of a
off
Nation.
about the Odyssey, but I don't really remember. Somebody's like, he did this, he did that. Like Oppenheimer was the other one I knew he'd done. God, I think of one that kind of sounds like one he would have done. Did he do Dunkirk?
Yes, he did. Number
Okay.
6.
Let's go.
I bought you some time. Now you got to
I
rattle them
have
off.
one written down that I'm not 1,000% sure he did. but it
Dunkirk's
feels like
awesome,
one.
by the way.
Did he do Tenet?
He did.
But he
But it's
didn't
not
get
on the
list.
list.
Dang.
Strike one.
Why is Craig not texting me answers?
You cheater.
I'll try. I'm trying to think. There's one movie.
I got one.
Fletch.
He did.
He did direct
Lives.
Fletch Lives, though. Yeah.
Fletch lives.
Dark
My bad.
Knight.
Oh, that's
The
right.
Dark Knight, number
Damn
4.
it! I did know that
All
one.
right.
2 strikes on the board.
How many are left?
We got 5 and 7.
Down to the bottom of the barrel here.
Dark
We're down to Tex winner on this one.
Knight.
The Dark Knight, what?
Oh. So does Dark Knight include all the Dark Knights?
No.
Oh.
Oh, it doesn't. Oh well, then that's not fair. Don't do that.
I don't think you know what it is.
I think it's Dark Knight Rises. I think is the
Is that your answer?
yeah.
Nice. Number 7.
No, I don't know the other one, though. Give me a hint, Kyle.
No.
Oh, boy. I'm trying to think. There's something with Habs. Do we have...
I hope you guys strike out. I think iPhone knows what it is.
I'm sure he does. He's got a lot of things written down. Let me see your list.
I might have the rest of them written down.
I think I thought of it.
It was the new Minion movie came out.
Let's say some sort of a joke. Say a joke out loud, and
No.
then he gives me a hint. You know, my son hates the Minions.
Yeah.
All the Minion
I think he
things.
made that one.
He did the new Minion, the Monster Minions.
Yeah, that one.
I saw the preview for that. My son's 29 years old. He's hated the Minions since the
In
first
a
time he saw them.
world.
Well, I
I'm
don't
like,
know.
how do you hate the Minions?
I don't know if it's
they're
for
fun.
him.
But he didn't like them when they were just the people on Despicable Me.
Yeah.
And he was young,
Is he married yet?
getting married this October.
Okay. Good for him. Congrats.
OU Texas game,
It's not wise.
short ceremony. Okay, let's say. Oh, you put me on the clock,
Put me
Put me on
Kyle.
the clock.
Uh-oh.
You give Petro hints. You
We
put me
got
on
to
the
get
clock.
to Lebo Sounds.
Do we? Saving Private Ryan.
That is Spielberg.
I know what it is.
Just in the interest of time, I'll go ahead and take the Hangover.
Oh, you already struck out.
Oh, that was 3
Yeah,
with Todd?
three.
Oh, I
Yeah.
thought it was going to come back to me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Over to iPhone.
I had a
Curtis.
joke ready, though, for the Hangover.
Hangover
Yeah.
3.
What all has been said?
Oh, now you're
There you
killing
go.
time?
Good job,
Number
kid.
1, Oppenheimer. 2, The Odyssey. 3, Inception. 4, The Dark Knight. 6, Dunkirk. 7, The Dark Knight Rises.
Birth of a Nation.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised that because I have right now Interstellar on here
Damn it!
and The Prestige.
That's
One of those two.
I probably would go with
and
the
then
first
Batman Begins, but I don't think that's on.
Why would you go with the first one, Curtis?
Because I've heard of it and didn't hear the second one.
I'm so stupid.
It's the
Or the
other
asinine
iMovie.
response
I'll-
of Todd over there?
Yes.
Shoot in there Interstellar from Deep. There we go.
Yeah, that's right.
Interstellar.
I
That's
knew
the
that
full
too.
100.
But we're not done yet.
That's a good movie. All right, 200 for you punks.
That's not enough, is it?
Nope, you need 201.
Dang it.
For this very reason, we made it 201.
So dumb.
All right, I think we are back to Curtis and Todd.
No,
No.
where it's me and
iPhone.
iPhone.
I'm gonna
My
try to
fault.
buzz in this time.
Well, so am I.
Might be the slowest team.
So am I.
For sure.
It's really are slow.
It's just bad.
All right.
I got a name I would call your team, but it's nowadays I don't think we can do it. So
No. Let's go.
All right, 6 answers on the board. iPhone and Petro. Name me a dip.
Petra,
Soren?
Skull.
Curtis. I'm a dick.
I don't think it's the right kind of dip.
No.
Oh, that's not what you.
When you mean a
These
dip,
are Curtis's dips.
you mean a dip? Do you mean something like ketchup?
I could be.
Just go say whatever.
That's his answer.
Ketchup. That's
Is
my
that your
answer. No.
That's a
Okay,
bad
Todd.
one.
Now, save the day, please.
Ranch?
Oh
Okay.
wow.
Queso.
There it is, number 1.
Yeah. I was going to say,
Okay.
those are condiments, you clowns say.
But no,
Dip
people
into
dip
it.
in ranch. These kids put pizza crust in ranch.
Ranch is great on everything.
You said
Yes.
skull.
What
you
did-
said skull.
Well, I thought he
You
meant, like,
said
dip in
skull.
your
I don't want
lip.
any crap from you. You
Yeah,
said
no
skull.
kidding.
I was like real quick, I'm like, Skull or Copenhagen? Skull or Copenhagen?
Happy Days. Happy Days mint.
Everybody's zinning now. They don't even dip. Okay. Are you playing?
We're
Are you playing or
Yeah, we'll
passing?
play it. Guac.
Number 3.
Okay.
I'm going to say just salsa.
Yeah.
Number 2.
Also just a condiment.
Yeah. So just dipping sauce is just off of it.
Dips.
Dips.
Yeah. Something you bring to a party.
Okay,
You
like
dip?
a buffalo chicken.
Buffalo chicken, number 4.
Buffalo chicken dip.
Curtis makes a buffalo chicken that's quite tasty. Tends to
Yeah.
overcook it a bit.
Just
though.
2 left.
Okay.
Just 2 left.
I can't be overcooked. 2 left. Wow. Barbecue sauce? No.
Not bad.
Barbecue sauce, not barbecue dip.
Blow
Barbecue
it
sauce.
out your backside.
Skull dip.
Everyone loves a good chip full of skull.
It's so good. You have to keep it together, though. How about skull and ranch?
There you go.
I make
Ranch
a
is
good
great with everything.
Skull's great, but sometimes I overcook it a little bit.
It's toasted.
Toss out like an artichoke. Okay.
Ooh.
Try strike 2.
Just has dip in the name. It's the only name.
Spinach dip.
Strike 3.
Spinach and artichoke
Spinach
is like,
are they together?
He said artichoke.
You put them together?
you
It's an
took,
artichoke,
you
and
took
I said-
one dip and got 2 strikes out of it. That's very efficient.
I remember when I was a kid. It was the last time that I had an answer.
So,
that
French
didn't get
onion
destroyed.
I have French onion
French
dip
onion
written
dip,
down.
for sure.
That's definitely one you. My wife makes a million great dips.
Yeah.
She's a fantastic cook.
dill dip. Like that's one of the, you get that dill
She did a
seasoning and you
like
put
this
it into a deal.
cream cheese and bacon
You
type
didn't
of thing.
even bacon and skull. It's so
Oh.
good.
They are.
I think we should try French onion since we both have it.
I think
have
that's
something
the way-
better?
No, it's the only thing I have
Okay.
written down. My wife makes all these real fancy ones that are like beyond. But
French onion.
we'll go French onion.
Yeah!
French onion.
Take your
Take that
face,
back to
Pop.
college.
5.
Take that back to
We
college.
get them all.
You do not. You missed sour cream and onion.
Sour cream.
Sour cream and onion. So how much do we get?
A 90.
90. Hold on.
Get your pen out. Write these down.
Well,
Add 'em
I
up.
don't
240.
have the calculator out.
Yeah.
240.
Probably use AI for this.
Ask ChatGPT
Ask
if you
ChatGPT,
lost.
it might be
You know what they said? You lost, but you fought hard.
it's close.
Todd opened the door and we damn near lost. We had to come down to the last answer to
Just
hold
wanted
on.
some drama, baby.
God bless, man. All right. Well, congratulations. You get a $25 gift card to Nick and Jake's.
Nice.
Go
Yeah.
there and have a cold beer.
Yeah.
Show them your
There you
ID.
Show them your real ID.
The real one.
Yeah, the real ID. Ask them if they'll dip it in a donut. Dip a donut down in there. They got some great desserts, too.
Ebony skull.
Yeah, no skull. We'll take a break. Lebo Sounds are next.
The program with Soren Petro.
What do you think is coursing through my veins right now?
Cheese Whiz. Weekdays from 2 to 6 on Sports Radio 810 WHB.
All right, let me ask you a question. Do you want to get out on the open road? Do you want to go wherever you want to go and have a great vacation? Then you need a great RV. And there's only one place in Kansas City to go to get it. Go to Kansas City's #1 RV dealer. I'm talking about Unlimited RV. You can find them online at unlimitedrv.com or find them at either location. That's right, 2 locations, 4400 North Cobbler in Independence and down at the Lake of the Ozarks, 12 Hauser Road. Locally owned and operated, veteran-owned business, national top 50 RV dealer, 3 years in a row. 4 out of the last 5, all right? And this is recognized based upon customer service scores. These are happy customers. And when it comes to volume, yeah, they do that as well. That's why they're Kansas City's #1 RV dealer. Listen, a 4.7 star rating on Google. That's over 900 reviews. You're talking about people being very happy when they go. Full transparent pricing. It's at right there at Unlimited RV. So if you want to go, remember this. How about getting a lifetime warranty on all new campers? How about a lifetime warranty on used campers that are 2 years old or newer? How about a mobile service unit that can come to you? That's right. If you need warranty work, they're one of the only ones in the country that can come do that warranty work for you. The very best customer service. Josh and his team are absolutely fantastic to deal with, and they're going to be there for years to come with the great service. And, of course, if you're ready to upgrade and you want to go to another RV, they'll be there with that as well. So go check out their beautiful RVs. Go check out the whole line and find the one that's perfect for you, and get out on the road and enjoy your vacation. It all starts by enjoying the buying experience, which you will no doubt do at Unlimited RV. Like I said, 2 locations, 4400 North Cobbler and Independence, 12 Hauser Road down in the Lake of the Ozarks. Go to unlimitedrv.com right now and check it out. That's unlimitedrv.com.
Stars, Stripes, and Strains is happening all month at Greenlight. Stock up for summer with fresh flower, gummies, vapes, and more from Missouri's voted #1 dispensary 4 years in a row. 5 Kansas City area locations, including Ward Parkway and State Line at 135th. For adults 21 and older, the best cannabis deals always at greenlightdispensary.com.
Looking for a great way to kick off the weekend early? Head to Carne Diem in Briarcliff for Thirsty Thursday and enjoy BOGO beer, wine, spirits, and teas. It's the perfect opportunity to stock up for a backyard gathering, weekend cookout, or relaxing evening at home. While you're there, explore Carne Diem's selection of locally sourced meats, sustainable seafood, artisan cheeses, and fresh prepared foods. It's more than a butcher shop. It's one of Kansas City's best destinations for food lovers.
When America needs power, Wholesale Batteries delivers. Nationwide shipping, premium brands, unmatched expertise. We keep America running. Wholesale Batteries, your power partner since 1977. Any battery, anytime, delivered anywhere at wholesalebatteries.net.
I'm McCall from Lee Summit Subaru, and we're committed to helping our community through the Subaru Love Promise, like our commitment to Hillcrest Transitional Housing to help solve homelessness. Lee Summit Subaru also sponsors
Todd Lebo, Vice President of Sports Operations.
Yeah, don't you forget it.
I never do. I never forget it. Is with us here in the program. He's brought to you by our friends at Family Leisure. Don't you forget that that's the place to go for family and fun.
Never forget.
Pools, tubs, hot tubs, I should say, spas, not bathtubs, hot tubs. spas, patio furniture. They're great. We just got some new patio furniture there. It is fantastic. New L-shaped couch. In fact, I was out when we had that little cool spell for a couple of days. Was so excited to go sit out there.
It didn't last that long, did it?
The cool spell, no, it lasted like 2 nights, and I went out to the porch both nights and fell asleep one night. It's always good when you're like, what time is it? Oh, 2:30. Maybe I better go to bed.
Better wake up.
I had a friend bought a W-shaped couch, but he was not pleased.
No. I mean, they don't sell those.
Neither were his friends.
They don't sell those at Family Leisure.
No, at any place. He bought one some offshoot. And they W-shaped.
That's what happens.
Sure.
No. Only shapes that will actually help you hang with friends. That's what you get.
And was his wife pissed?
I'm sure. Go see him there at K10 and Ridgeview, online at familyleisure.com. Locally owned and operated for more than a quarter century. Also, if you mention 810, you get extra discounts. They do have a big sale going on right now. So go take advantage of it. Beautiful weather is right around the corner. You're going to want to be sitting out this fall. Go get it. They have the best selection of patio furniture anywhere around and the best customer service you're going to find anywhere. It's at Family Leisure. Todd, we had Mark Donovan talking today.
Yeah, there was the Welcome to Camp Day.
President.
Yeah.
He carries another title. It's beyond that.
He might have one, yeah.
President and
Grand Poobah.
Title him up.
I don't think he gets Grand Poobah.
Google it up and title him. See what it is. I know he's at least president. He could be CEO now. Maybe.
Let's see. The Chiefs website call him. Nope. I was wrong. Grand Poobah.
Grand Poobah.
No. Just as president.
Just president.
I thought he did have another one.
So he, they have the thing where they get welcome to St. Joseph, the mayor's up there and their sponsors and all that stuff. They did that, but also answered some questions about a lot of things. Plenty of stadium talk, about the practice facility, things like that. But at the end, it was a question about the World Cup and what that kind of meant to Kansas City. And it goes to the point where we've been talking about a lot with the Chiefs, that they've got a plan to be global. And the NFL has got a very serious plan to be global. You've been talking about this for years, about adding more and more and more international games, and the Chiefs have been a part of that. But there's a reason for this. Here's Donovan explaining part of that and how this World Cup happening in Kansas City kind of can help them globally.
Yeah, number one, it put us on a map internationally. Not only the exposure of the matches, but the exposure of and the awareness from social media content of foreign visitors to this region and the comments they made about Kansas City, which goes back to that pride point. But think about the things that you heard from those people. Like, they're so nice here. It's so easy here, right? All things that we know are true, but that was on an international stage. I would give you this one. This probably goes way too deep on strategy. But when you think about the commitment that Lamar made to being international and growing internationally, and the vision that he had to say that's where our growth is in the 70s, he's saying this. And then you think about the commitment that we have made, the resources we put against financial and personal resources against growing and setting that goal. I know a lot of our fans are like, why do you spend so much time, on international and branding? Think about this. Just from a statistic standpoint, sort of things that we look at that justify not only why we're doing it, but why the NFL is doing it. The World Cup final rating in the U.S. was 62.5 million people, the largest in the history of soccer in the U.S. by a wide margin. The NFL will tell you, correctly, the Super Bowl last year was 125 million, double. Biggest, strongest. We make the statement a lot about how powerful the NFL is in the U.S. That Super Bowl did 125 million in the U.S. That Super Bowl did 200 million worldwide. 62.5 million people watched the soccer final in the U.S. 1.5 billion watched it around the world. Why do we want to be the world's team? Because that's the opportunity. That's why we're doing all this, because there's a huge market out there that we need to take advantage of. And the things we've done are working, and we're going to continue to be committed to that. And, that's sort of our North Star.
It's huge numbers when you think about that. And they don't need to have 1.5 billion people watch the Super Bowl. They would love to have it, for sure. But they have been having international broadcasters come in and broadcast the Super Bowl and all that stuff. But you heard that number there. With all that, 200 million people is a lot of people watching your deal. But they if there's more out there, they want to go get it.
The thing I hear there is that, we get a lot of people that'll talk about, soccer, I always heard, is going to be the biggest thing. It's not the biggest thing here in the U.S. but soccer's doing better in the U.S. than American football is internationally.
Oh yeah.
So
For sure.
the point when you hear that, like, well, why do they keep going with soccer? Well, because they know that there's the ability to, the zenith would be to get to where the NFL is, right? They'll probably never get there in this country because the NFL will probably always be the number one. Maybe 100 years from now, 200 years from now, some amount of time, maybe soccer could surpass it because it's the most important sport out there. But that's what you have of like trying to, bring your game out there. And I think what's important for people like Jazzu J will call, and he complains when the Chiefs have 9 home games and one of them gets sent abroad, overseas. And he's like, that's a game I'm losing as a season ticket holder, which I don't think is quite fair because you're not paying for it. Right? You just, but for him, he's like, well, I've decided the price is worth it. So yes, it's an opportunity for me to get a game. I'm losing it. I understand that. But here's what I would tell you. The Dallas Cowboys make so much more money because they're in Dallas than the Chiefs do in Kansas City.
Right.
If the Chiefs can make that up by being Berlin's favorite team, Berlin is a Dallas-like market.
Sure.
Okay? If they can be the number one draw, if American football grows to being the second most popular sport and they can be Berlin's team, then they can make up that gap financially to the Cowboys. And maybe when that continues to grow, we won't hear about how the Chiefs don't because I also think the Jets and Giants and Cowboys and the teams that are they're kind of fat cats that are like, I don't think we need to go do this. I will give the Chiefs a lot of credit for saying this is a way for us to make up the gap and we're going to work our ass off and we're even going to maybe sacrifice, a home field advantage to build for the long haul, to make our franchise more stable for the long haul, to give ourselves a better chance to win on down the road. We're going to capitalize on the popularity of Patrick Mahomes and this team, and we're going to make it win for us, not just now, but for years to come because we're going to create Chiefs fans all over the globe.
Because we know this, that NFL does a great job with the way they share their money. But there's plenty of local money in the NFL. It's not like, 80 or 150 baseball games you have, but all of their things they do, those YouTube shows they make, all the Hallmark movies, all that stuff, if they can get people watching those things in Berlin or in Brazil or whatever, they don't care. YouTube's the world, man. They can get those people watching those things. You can get more ads on and make more money that way. So that's their goal. And, if they can get people, if Chiefs can be the number one international team, that would be a great thing for them. That may not be great for you if you don't want to watch a game at 8 a.m. because it's on in Berlin, or Friday night on YouTube, which that game was just on YouTube, the one that they had it down in Brazil a couple years ago. It's just the way it's going to be, man. That's how it is. You may not like it or whatever, but there's money to be had out there, and they're going to go try to find that money because they can't squeeze too much more out of America, man. I mean, and 62 million people is a monstrous number. They haven't had 30 million people watch an NBA Finals game since 2016, Game 7 between the Cavs and Warriors.
Yeah.
The New York Knicks are the biggest thing in the world. They didn't get to a Game 7. Maybe that had a bigger number this year if they made Game 7. But that's way bigger than any baseball number you'll see. That's way bigger than anything you'll see anywhere else. So that was huge because it was a monstrous championship game. But that says a lot to me about what can be happening. America wasn't even in the dumb thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, the numbers he cited and the way he applied them to what the team needs and what they're. I love that answer.
Yeah,
every bit of it.
Yeah. I'll take a break. We'll talk more Chiefs football. Todd Lebo is here. A little Lebo Sounds brought to you by our friends at Family Leisure. They're at K10 and Ridgeview. Dennis, DJ, they're there. Their whole staff is great. Whatever you need, you're getting out. Still got some great pool and lake days. Anything you need for getting out on the lake or the pool. Or how about the pool itself? It's right there, just waiting for you at K10 and Ridgeview. Online at familyleisure.com.
All right, the Twin Peaks end of the hour answer. Who's the only player to go 10 of 10 or better from the field in an NBA Finals game? There is a local angle.
10 of 10.
Mm-hmm.
Local angle.
Willis Reed had some amazing. No, he only scored like 4 points.
Yeah,
after
he hit his
Is
first
it
two
one
shots.
of these like
Wes Unseld
Larry Drew
had
or somebody
some-
like
he
that?
He played
Lucius
for the-
Allen.
He played his NBA game for the Kings. Then
He
went
did
to
it for the
this place.
Kings?
No, he went. Then he went somewhere else. This was
And
a
he did
Kings star. Did it for somebody else.
He was a star for the Kings?
Yes.
Otis Thorpe? LaSalle Thompson?
Game 1, 1985 NBA Finals. Scott Wedman.
Scotty Wedman.
For the Celtics, 11 of 11.
I should have got
And
that.
what will be known as the Memorial Day Massacre, 148-114. Of course, the Lakers had won 4 the
Yeah,
next
they
5 and won the series.
You
That
really
was-
should have gotten that.
I
Scotty
should have gotten
Wedman
it because it
is-
came against. Like I've actually heard once he said it. I was like, I've heard that before.
He's 70,
I've heard that before.
74 today.
Scotty Wedman
from Harper, Kansas,
Yeah.
and the University of Colorado.
Those Celtics in the 80s just kept churning through veteran guys that were their like 6-man guys. Bill Walton would be there in 86, was 6-man of the year, and they had their great season in 86. But Scotty Wedman was their 6-man that year.
6th overall pick by the KC Omaha Kings in 1974.
Yeah, that was a good idea.
Happy birthday.
What could go wrong with that?
Yeah.
You had to figure it out.
Yeah.
I have somewhere at home, I think I have a KC Omaha Kings patch.
Nice.
Which is probably worth 14 cents, but it's mine, so.
I dig it.
By the way, you going to play us anything else?
No.
Then I want you to tell me what is the biggest question to be answered at Chiefs training camp in your mind.
Well, my idea of that is different now. Honestly, the biggest question I have right now is when is Eric Bieniemy going to come back?
Sure,
You know, but
that's more. Yeah, that's more of a.
My question before that, I don't have any fear that Patrick Mahomes is going to be ready to go. So that's not even a monstrous question for me. I just think he's going to be ready to go. But
I think the fact that he is a full go to start camp pretty much makes that moot.
Yeah, I want to see. I mean, these rookies have to be good. And at this point right now, I want to see Mansour Delane playing without a yellow jersey on. That's number one that I'd like to see. But they drafted a lot of rookies. We've said this before. They need to have a draft like the 22 draft, basically, to replace what they have. And they have all these rookies there, and I want to see if they can play. Now, it's tough to see some of that right here, but I think we will be able to see when they start going one-on-one. You'll get to see Peter Woods and our Mason Thomas going up in the one-on-one drills against a very good Chiefs offensive line, I think. So I want to see some of that. But that's what I need to answer. Are these rookies any good? Because if these rookies are not good, then I don't know if this team can do what they want to do. Because their defense was all right last year. But a lot of guys are gone on the defense.
The defense, statistically, what were they? What were their numbers, Chris? Were they 6th
They
in
didn't
points
sack
and
anyone,
10th,
but they were
10th in yards? But
they
their
were all right.
DVOA
probably not
put them in the middle of the pack because the defense greatly benefited from the fact that the offense, over the last 2 years, the offense just grinds 3.5 yards
they weren't
at a
out there as
time.
much.
And so it sucks up so much clock that they didn't have to go out there that much.
But they have to replace Trent McDuffie. And is Delane going to be that guy?
6th in points, 10th in yards. So you had it right.
6th in points, 10th in yards. Okay. So, I mean,
it wasn't a mess. But they 2 or 3 of their better players are not on that team anymore. And so they need to. So I want to see the rookies. That's what I want to watch and see if they can play. And you don't really know that till they start playing in the games. But I do want to see these guys have had no contact with anybody really doing anything. And eventually here they're going to have some of these one-on-ones that those are the fun parts. If you're going up to camp, go get around the perimeter of the field, go where the big guys are having their one-on-one drills against each other. That's fun to watch.
6th in points and 10th in yards. But to your point, if you had to go through the season, how many times late in the game, like they just need to stop here, couldn't get it.
You couldn't get it.
Couldn't get it against the Chargers, couldn't get it against the Jaguars, couldn't get it against the Bills, the Broncos, the Cowboys.
Every time they needed something on offense, you got to get something.
Yeah.
They didn't do it. Every
Just
time you
get a
needed on
stop.
defense, you got to do
Nope.
something. Nope, they didn't do it. It was just like a total reversal of roles from the year before when they always did it.
Yes, every week.
Yeah, I think there's too many times we saw blitzes that didn't get home. And so
Bunch of 'em.
if they can pressure with their front four, we went through it in the first hour. I think their secondary has the potential at the end of the year to be as good as it was and maybe even better, but or at least near what it was last year. But if they can pressure up front,
makes it easier.
Then that will make them better than they were last year.
For sure.
Todd, thank you.
All righty.
All right, off what pitcher did Salvador Perez hit his first Major League home run? Brought to you by La Feta Delicatessen.
Second half of the program begins with a celebration. We celebrate the great golfing skills of one Tim Grunhard, who got a hole-in-one today.
Yeah, about 2 hours ago.
How impressive is that? Is that your first one ever?
It's my first official hole-in-one. I was playing the top of the rock,
Like
which is
Cool
a
Crest?
par three course. It's about 160-yard little island green deal at top of the rock, but it's all
Where's
par
Top
three
of the
holes.
Rock? I've heard
down
that.
at down in Branson. The
Table Rock.
Table Rock.
Yeah,
and
okay,
that.
yeah.
And it's all par three. I got a hole in one there. There was one on video with Mike Garozzo, and Frank Bowl was filming it. But my kids were like, my two sons, they play golf. They're like, that doesn't really count. You're
Yeah,
playing
that
par-"
counts.
So it was always that asterisk that was
So
kind
there's
of
no
next
you
to it.
remove the asterisk.
The asterisk is gone, baby. Yeah, par three, number 5 at Wolf Creek. About 148-yard shot over some sand and water on the right. The green slopes to the right. The pin was kind of in the back right. I hit it kind of off to the left, probably about midway through the green. It kind of rolled with the green and disappeared. It was unbelievable. It happened in slow motion, and which was great because I played with a group of older guys, great guys. There's about 16 of us, so there was.
Well, how long did the round take? 9 hours?
No, it's four
You played a
foursomes. Now four
Wow.
foursomes. There was 16 guys. So they were there was guys up on 4 looking down. There was guys over on 6 who were kind of getting ready to tee off, and just kind of the way it worked out. Everybody saw it. Everybody went crazy. It did cost me quite a bit of money, which you would think the other way around, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
If
And
you get a hole
you
in
some
one-
great, everyone buys for you.
Everybody buys for you, but I had to buy for everybody else. So but I did have what we call hole-in-one insurance at the club, which means that every time somebody gets a hole-in-one, you're charged $10 to your bill. So I'll probably get a couple $1,000 out of that deal to help pay for the. Because I'm sure they're still out there drinking.
So wait a minute.
I had to come to work here. I told you 10 years ago you wouldn't have seen me.
So what? You pay a few extra bucks for your membership, and like $10 goes into this pool. How's it work? And that goes to anyone who hits a hole in one.
So you sign up for the hole-in-one club
Insurance.
insurance. So anytime somebody gets a hole-in-one, you get charged $10 to your bill, which is not a big deal, and it doesn't happen all the time. I mean, it happens very rarely.
Right.
So whoever's in that, they'll all be charged $10, and I'll get the money.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. It was awesome, man. I'm on a high. What a great day. Kansas City Chiefs report to camp. It's got to be an omen.
Yeah.
I think
It's got to
so.
be an omen, right?
Yes.
I get my first real hole-in-one, according to my kids, the real one. So I texted the boys. Of course, you know how close I am. We play golf all the time. Colin says to me, he goes, well, now you officially have a real hole-in-one instead of on a kiddie course. And CJ said, as much golf as you play out there, you should have a bunch of them.
Wow.
So
They're really impressed.
yeah, I said, I love my boys. Love them. But yeah.
And they love their dad, clearly.
Yeah, howdy.
Yeah, well, they love to give me a hard time. And
Yes, as they should.
that's part of the deal. But guys, I'm telling you, it's an unbelievable feeling.
Yeah.
It really is.
that's-
Just to see the ball kind of just trickle and go down and matriculate
Yes.
into the hole.
Well, and just for the caliber of guy that Tim Grunhard is, I will also point out that Tim came in carrying a big box full of beverages for everybody here.
hey, you
So-
guys are my boys, man. This is my
Appreciate
foursome
that.
in here. This is my foursome, my radio foursome.
Yeah.
I had to buy you guys a drink.
He did.
I appreciate that. Thank you very much. That's
Although
kind.
I don't think 810 has a hole-in-one insurance program here, do they?
But no.
No.
You could try to.
No. We have
I thought-
lots
I
of
thought-
great things here. That's not one of them.
I saw Chad out there. He was pretty fired up.
Oh, I'm
try to
sure.
expense
Yeah,
it.
I'm sure.
And, he said, "Did you tell the guys yet?" I said, "I absolutely did. I texted you guys pretty much right after it happened,
Yeah.
and sent
With
a
photos.
picture, and 10, 15 years ago, this guy would not have been here. It would not have happened. I don't know where it would have been. Maybe the casino. I would have been about 15, 20 beers into it by now. But what an awesome experience.
We got a picture of the ball in the hole and then a picture of Tim standing holding the ball over the hole with the pin in his hand.
That is the customary pose for a hole-in-one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Impressive.
But we don't actually have visual proof that it happened.
You don't.
We just have the ball in the hole and you hold it. I could have
Golfers
done
never
that.
lie.
Golfers never lie, and if you
unless they have a bad lie.
don't,
Then the shoe wedge comes out and
Yeah.
we flip it forward for a better one.
But don't tempt me to have those guys call in, because they'll all be calling in here and bugging you guys
that's fine,
during the
sure.
show. So
They can't get on unless we pick it up.
I
So
know.
They
I
can
know.
dial away.
I know, but you don't want I actually have them blocked anyway. So you had the lines blocked, but they would light it up. But no, it was great, and
Do you think you'll get another one before you call it a
Absolutely.
call it a life?
Yeah. They somebody told me they come in bunches, so we'll see.
Is that right?
Yeah.
How'd you play the next couple of holes after you hit
the
it?
next couple of holes were horrible. I went double bogey, and then I kind of settled down and went par for the last 2 holes. I played as good as I played. I had 3 birdies today.
You said you
also.
shot an 80, and what's par on it? 72, 71?
Yeah, 72.
Okay.
72 is par.
You shot an 80 with back-to-back double bogeys?
Yeah, well, I had a hole on. That helps.
Yeah,
And then
well,
I
on a par 3.
I also had 2. I also had 2.
That basically takes one of those off the board.
You still played pretty well.
I had 2 birdies on the par 5s, and then had a bunch of pars. But the
What's your handicap?
I am an 11.
Okay.
So
that's pretty good.
Yeah. I'm not,
I didn't realize you were that good.
Well, 11's,
I will
it's
say
serviceable.
I will say
for an NFL lineman, it's not. For a kicker or a quarterback, maybe.
Yeah.
You know what? I take
guys
offense
who
to
have
that.
touch.
I take offense to that. We're athletes too.
Yeah, but you spent the whole time getting your hands stepped on and you're breaking your fingers on face masks.
Well, if you watch,
you're not supposed to really be able to swing anything well.
If you watch my swing, it's ugly. Remember, I had 2 shoulder replacements.
I have seen your swing, and I saw your swing before the shoulder replacements.
Yeah,
and it wasn't a thing of beauty.
No, it's all about the hand-eye coordination and the timing. But to be brutally honest, last year at this time, I didn't think I'd ever play golf again because coming off the first surgery. And then in the second surgery, and it just was so much.
So the shoulders are doing really well.
Shoulders are doing well. They're doing well.
Good.
They must be.
Yeah.
They got to be.
Doing well enough.
Yeah. So
towering 148-foot bomb.
Yard.
148-yard bomb.
With 148 foot, I'm not sure that anybody give me a lot of credit for that shot.
Was there a dog?
That was the last one on the par 3.
Was there a slight
short
dog
hole.
leg left or anything?
Curtis, have you ever golfed?
No.
Yes, you have.
I
golfed
tried
with
to.
you.
We
golfed. We did a charity thing where we played like 2 or 3 rounds in one day.
That was me trying to hit a ball with a stick. I wouldn't even call that golfing.
Well,
I was so bad at it. I know what you're saying.
He has never gone out taking lessons. Got clubs, tried to do it, but he just took his baseball swing out on the course, and for a charity thing, we played. He and I played like 40 holes, and Doug played like 60 because it was like however many holes we played, and so we kept playing and playing. They were working on the course, and so they opened it up, and so we just kept going around and around and around the course all day.
That had to be tiring. That's a lot of swings.
It's a tremendous amount of swings for us 2 humps. Yes,
yeah. Even if we were
we're shooting like 140 or something. Yes, it was a lot of swings.
My handicap was they just put X. We can't calculate. It's an infinity sign.
I think it was close. It was like about a 2 swing for every beer.
Wow.
Yeah. The people behind us were.
Yeah.
The people behind us were hammered by the time the night today was over.
Were you guys partaking in libations?
Yes.
Oh my gosh! I wish I was invited to that.
It was a good time.
Not now, but back then.
That's the only thing that kept me going.
The beer.
Yes. I didn't even have that.
Because I'm terrible. I hit like 6 good shots on like 40 holes of golf.
I can't hit the ball off a tee, Tim.
And that was at a time that I was trying to play golf.
Who your youngest daughter is? It Brooke?
Yeah. Oh no, my youngest is Carly.
Remember we went to Top Golf. She hit the ball pretty decent.
She has some athletic skills.
Does.
They come from her mother.
She absolutely does.
Her mother's family is athletic. I am not. So
remember we were out there with
nothing
Brooke.
but athletes.
She's on the dance team because of her mother, not because of my almost falling down.
You'd be like a big old
to dance.
dancing bear out there.
No, that's Curtis. Curtis is the dancing bear out there. I am a
Curtis. Do you get jiggy with it at wedding receptions?
Yes, he does.
Oh yeah.
Yes, he does. He's got a Michael Jackson impression.
Yeah.
Do you really?
He does the Michael Jackson.
I can goof around.
Can you moonwalk?
No.
Do you grab
I can't do that.
No. Do you grab your crotch?
I do I do one of those.
He
things,
does have that as part.
I do have.
He does
that.
the little finger thing and
that
thing. Do you do what's the Oscar from The Office?
I don't know when he. No,
you ever watch The Office when they had the wedding scene when they're dancing down the aisle and doing it, and he does like the robot deal going down. Yeah, that's more my speed.
I have a variety of just goofball. I get out there, I don't have any dance moves, but I just kind of I have rhythmic kind of goofiness and a pattern.
He has a good rhythm
go,
to it.
Wow, you're having a good time.
Yeah. Weddings is when I usually see Curtis dance. We also, a long time ago, took the station had a trip for Chiefs Broncos. Brody Croyle started at quarterback to give you an idea of
I
when
think
this
I was there.
Were you on that trip? You might have been.
I was.
And we went to some club that
like
had a dance floor.
2001 or 2 or something.
Ours was 07.
No, then that wasn't there.
Yeah. And
I wasn't invited back after that trip. That's why I was.
That's why we had fun.
Yeah, every time I go on an 8-10 event, I have issues. One was at Wrigley Field.
Yeah, as
we
we know.
had issues, and then went to Denver and had issues.
Yeah. So you don't travel anymore.
I don't. Well, I could probably travel now, but then I was not a very responsible person. As my wife likes to reminds me all the time.
But he was cutting a rug out in some place we were in Denver, and
like a touches.
They were coming. No, it was not.
I remember that.
No, it was
remember that place. Now.
And they ladies were coming from all directions to go out and dance with Curtis. And we had pictures. I used to have them on on my door into my office downstairs.
God, I forgot about that place.
I would
remember
love
that
to see those pictures.
Oh,
during the break, can you show me a couple of your moves?
I might be able to, yeah.
I would love to see that.
He also might blow out his Achilles trying to do it.
Get out of the chair. Get out of the chair. But I do that, but I cannot. We went one time. Jeremy Wood, my former radio partner, and I went to some place out in Lee Summit to hit the golf balls, and I could not hit the ball off the tee. I lined up.
There's a lot of activity up at the top.
And everyone's like,
when he comes back up here, the club head's moving around.
That way.
I was like, just do this, so I'm okay. Miss.
My
If
daughter.
I hit it, it's like a little ground ball to the shortstop.
My daughter has multiple state records here in Kansas for swimming, and had a record at Notre Dame for the butterfly. She couldn't hit a golf ball to save her life. Great athlete, just that hand-eye coordination from here to there. Just can't do it. We tried to get her, to play golf and do those things, and she's like, nope, can't.
Underhand pitcher, I can drop a ball in the bucket.
Oh, I know.
Crazy,
I've heard
but it isn't necessarily the
hand-eye
spatial
coordination.
thing. There's something in my
listen.
I cannot.
Are you saying you don't like to have? Well, I shouldn't say that.
In Curtis's defense,
I would have said that on Crunch Time.
If Curtis he's never. Like I said, he's
really
never
tried.
like, I'm going to start playing golf.
Right.
It's like, I'm going to go kill some time with my friend on a driving range once.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to do this charity thing a second time. Curtis, if he went after it, would become a, okay, he sucks, but we'll play with him. He doesn't.
Yeah.
You don't want to play with me because you're stopping the cart halfway to where everyone else's ball is, and I'm not even going to go look for it. It's like it didn't go far enough for us to even. So stop the cart, get out. I got to hit again. Then go a little further. I got to hit again. Like, no. It was a disaster. Curtis would get to where you'd be like, okay, listen, we're not winning it. We're not calling him for the big tournament where we're going to play a scramble. But you'd be like, we'll go play around with Curtis.
Can you putt, Curtis? Can you putt?
I probably could putt pretty decently.
That's actually the only thing I could do. I could putt. Yeah. Pretty good.
So we'll put a scramble team together.
No, we
won't. You guys,
we won't.
can putt. You can be the putters.
We won't.
No, we won't. Put a
thanks
plate
for
of scrambled
indulging
eggs
me.
together.
I'm on a high, just so fired up. It's a great feeling, and I woke up this morning, and I never ever golf on radio day. I just don't. But today they said 10:30. I said I could probably pull it off, and it was a nice day. Yeah. And so I said, I'll go out there. Because yesterday I played with Garozzo and a couple other guys and didn't play very well. I think I shot like 89 or 90.
If you're playing with Garozzo, I'm sure it's hard to play well.
Let's not get into that. You don't even want to get into that. So I had a bad taste in my mouth yesterday. I said, I'll go out there with the guys today. Because Sarah's out of town. She's in Golden, Colorado, doing things with her girlfriends from high school. And I said, and there's nothing going on at home. I'll go play golf again. And thank God I did.
There you go.
It's one of those things where I was like, yeah, okay, let's go play.
That's why
I got a hole in one.
That's why you play it, because even if you have a bet, like just the idea that the next round I play is going to, that's what I hear from people who go like, they're always so frustrated. You hit one shot, you're like,
chase that for weeks.
I'm going to keep chasing it. You chased it and you got it.
The sad thing is there is there's a group out there, and they told me after, I just got the text message from the guy. He said that congratulations, it's Ben Fitzgerald or something. They have this deal where if somebody gets a hole in one in the club, they have their own deal where if you get a hole in one, you have to pay $100. That's a $10,000 award for getting a hole in one. Same club, same deal. I didn't know about it.
Oh, you're
Nobody
not in
told
that
me.
club?
I'm not in that club. So, but that's not what it's all about, Soren. It's not about the money.
Okay.
It doesn't hurt. But it's not about the money.
Be about 10,000.
10,000 would have been nice.
That wouldn't suck.
Yeah, so because nobody's had a hole in one in that club for about 2 or 3 years or something. So if you're in that club and it just kind of piles up on each other, it's about $9,000-10,000.
Very nice. Very nice.
But
it's nice to know how the other half lives, Tim.
Listen, you got $5.
Just money.
You have $5.
Just money to throw around on.
You have $5. I can see
on drinks.
It costs it. That's what gets you.
That's what gets you. There you
go. You is it to pay for everybody's drink in the club, and of course they come out of the woodwork. I don't know if people text each other. Next thing I know, there was only about 30 people there when we got there, and then when I got in, there was about 100 people there. So I had to pay for everybody's drink, but that's okay.
There you go.
It's okay.
Proud of you, Tim. Good job.
Well, thank you very much. I don't feel the love, but I appreciate that.
We sent fire emoji. Great job.
No, I felt the love then, but now I think you're just getting a little tired of it. And I am too. So let's continue. Let's go talk about the Chiefs and all that kind of fun stuff.
We'll take a break. We'll come back. We'll talk some Chiefs football with Tim Grunner. He's always brought to you by our friends at the Plumbing Pro. The one to know
Talk
is
about
the
putting
Plumbing
in the
Pro.
drain, baby.
There you go.
That was a Plumbing Pro shot.
Sewer, septic, drain installation, and repair. The one to know is the Plumbing Pro. Call 816-763-8200. Don't waste your whole Saturday. Coach Bush and his team, they've been locally owned and operated since 1980. That's something that's very unique now. There's only a handful of companies that really are Kansas City companies now. That's what you're getting with the Plumbing Pro. So don't call anyone else. Call the experts. The one to know is the Plumbing Pro. Call 816-763-8200 with all your plumbing needs. Find them online at theplumbingpro.com.
All right, the LaFanta Delicatessen, end of the hour answer as we approach the 18th hole where Tim Grunhard is about to set the tee off here, coming off his
Mission Hills, Kansas.
His amazing hole in one back on 6.
Tim Grunhard, a golfer like no other, with us here in the
golfer
program.
like no other. But have you seen the clip of
golfer like no other?
Some guys were out golfing someplace, and Jim Nance was behind them. And he kind of walks up on him, and out of nowhere, he just decides to. He announces the guy's swing. Here we are on the 16th hole of so-and-so, and Jeff Williams is set to tee off, and boom, he goes, fantastic shot down the fairway, so-and-so, and he's really set up for a possible birdie as we head to 18.
I think I'd rather
fantastic that he did that, just out of nowhere.
I think I'd rather have Bill Murray.
Yeah.
He's a young man out of nowhere. He got about a 280-yard shot. He could pull out about an 8-iron.
Former Chiefs Hall of Fame center.
Yes.
It's in the hole. It's in the hole.
Cinderella story, I guess.
Cinderella story.
The I guess is what's the...
Yeah, I guess.
I forgot. I should also guess.
I think that whole thing was ad-lib.
What a great movie.
Him and Chevy Chase.
Him just hitting. He was
hitting the flowers.
Yeah, where that one.
If there ever was a reason not to make sequels, Caddyshack is it.
Yeah, well, yeah. Well, they didn't. Well, you knew you were in trouble when like 3/4 of the cast didn't come back for the sequel.
Right.
No.
It's like, here are all the bit players that need a check. You know. The caddies were back.
What was
right?
Ted Knight, was that his name?
Yeah, Ted Knight wasn't in it, I don't think.
No, I think he's dead.
No, but he wasn't in the sequel. Neither was Bill Murray.
No, Bill Murray wasn't in it.
I think it was
nobody from the
Danny Noonan wasn't
Danny
in it.
Noonan wasn't even in it.
No.
Yeah.
And you would think Danny
Noonan, like the second biggest thing he did was like be Roseanne
movies?
Barr's sister's husband on the show Roseanne.
Right.
Oh, okay. Then
now, if you look at the movie poster, if nobody who's on the poster is in the next movie, it probably wouldn't.
And don't forget Chevy Chase.
Yeah, Chevy Chase was in it.
Me winning isn't. You do.
By the way, you were going to give the end of the hour?
Off what pitcher did Salvador Perez hit his first major league home
so
run?
I know it was a Tiger because I know it happened in Detroit.
It did.
August 29th, 2011.
Best guesses would be like Verlander or Scherzer.
Jack Morris?
2011.
That's way too far back. 2011. Come on now. Settle down, Tim.
36, not 60.
Mickey Lolich? What do you got? Any other old Tigers you want to nominate? I'll say Verlander or Scherzer.
Max Scherzer.
Sweet.
One of 4 that he hit off Scherzer. He hit 5 off J.A. Happ and Lucas Giolito, 4 off Max Scherzer and Tarek Skubal. So he's hit some home runs off some dudes.
It was predicted by a friend of ours who has extreme knowledge of the Royals that the record would be broken there as he was getting closer. Like, he always hits well in Detroit.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so he goes, I think the record will be. He's called it like 2 weeks in advance that record would fall in Detroit.
I was talking to Monty yesterday, and I was talking about, obviously the trade deadline's coming up, and of course, being the big Cub fan, we need some starting pitchers, and Waka's been kind of floated around. I said, what are they going to want for that? He goes, you guys can't afford them.
Oh, the Cubs most certainly can.
Well,
afford it. They just won't. They won't pay the price. I think the Royals want too much.
They want 2 MLB-ready pitchers. I mean, either guys are in the league now or are like number 1 or number 2 prospects. I don't know. I mean, is it
the rent is too damn high?
And he has another year after this, so he is controllable, right?
They're going to do what they're going to do, and I'll grade it after it's done. But I don't like what they're doing. I disagree with what they're doing, and I hope because I like the people, I really hope to say, man, I was wrong. Boy, they nailed it on this. But Jeff Passan said they will not even get 1 top 100 prospect for Michael Waka. That he's not that valuable. And then their asking price is way more.
Way more.
Which part of the reason, like, listen, if the market tells you we're not even going to give you a top 100 prospect, you should stop valuing him as highly as you do. I know you love the guy. I love the guy. I think he's a great guy to talk to. I think he's an excellent pitcher. I think it was a great signing. But you're caught up in your love of the guy and not thinking of what's best for the baseball team. If the market says he's not worth the top 100 prospect, then the market is telling you that we can find this guy any year, any offseason.
Right.
And I think that's wrong, but I also don't think they're ready to contend in 27. And so I don't know why they're not saying, let's take a really talented guy in A-ball, wait, be patient, and have him ready to go. Because Walker's not going to be here in 28 anyway.
I mean, you can get some guys too that are there's some pretty decent AA, AAA type of blue chip outfielders that teams will part with, and Cubs are one of them. Alcantara they have, who's the guy that they would like to move. Shaw is a guy that they may move, but they don't want that. Don't you think? I mean, listen, Collins and those guys that they got. Who's Collins and who's the other guy that from Milwaukee was Collins?
Lane Thomas.
Yeah,
Isaac Collins and Lane Thomas in the outfield.
Good players, but just every run of the millers. No, I mean, go on, find you might be able to get.
If
yourself,
Isaac Collins is your third outfielder, you're like, we got a good outfield.
Yeah, you got a good outfield, but
when Isaac Collins is your best outfielder, you've got a problem.
You can have Cags and then another superstar young outfielder.
You cannot have Cags in the outfield.
He's playing right field now.
I know, and it's awful, and I hate it.
And
I've hated it from day one, and I still hate it right now.
Yeah. Where does
and now that they just IR'd today, or IL'd now, they call it.
Yeah.
IL'd Vinny.
Why did they change that?
I don't know. I don't know.
Well, they used to call it the DL.
Yeah, it's IR was the NFL. That's right. Yeah. And it was DL, the disabled list. I don't know.
Maybe it was
political correctness.
correctness.
I don't know.
Yeah, I think that had something to do with that.
That's listen.
Whatever.
Tell me what you want to call. Like, if people change their names, fine. Just tell me what it is, and I'll call you it. I don't understand why people get a big burr in their ass. Like, well, he wants to be called. So call him that. What do you care?
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, fine.
But who they put
it's
on,
Antoine.
Who they
even
put
though
on
it's
the
spelled
IR?
Antoine.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll call you Antoine.
I'll call you.
Who's that? Who's injured?
Vinny Pasquantino hit the IL.
So now Vinny
and they called up John Rave.
Vinny and Bobby.
Vinny, Bobby, and Michael Garcia.
Oh, wow. Yeah,
are all out.
Yeah.
And so now
it's hard to win.
So now what will happen? They'll play Salvi at first, and I'll lose my mind.
Instead of moving Cags up to first?
No, they'll play Cags at first quite a bit. But I guarantee you there'll be a time where Caglione's in right field and Salvi's playing first base, and they'll DH like Lane Thomas or something. And I'm like,
no,
I don't know what we're doing here.
Yep.
I mean, how do you think, Jonathan Hayes would have done running around diving for baseballs in the outfield? How long would he have stayed healthy?
Well, he was diving for footballs that were right at him. So.
But you get my point.
I do.
Like, do you want a 250-pound
big body? Yeah, no,
guy
absolutely.
diving? Like, you hit the ground harder.
Yes, you
big
do.
guys going down, the impact is more. The cartilage and the ligaments are not some special, super thick, absorbent. You hit the ground harder, and so every joint takes more of a hit every time a big guy dives. And, you're not going to tell the kid, like, don't go for it.
Yeah.
And even more, I don't know how you.
And
get
his lower body, he's got a big lower body. I mean, big, powerful. Big, powerful.
And people are like,
body.
well, have you seen him at first? And like, he's not great at first. I'm like, well, he's not getting better at first, running around in right field.
Yeah, absolutely.
No.
So if there's a season that you're like, well, let's really work with him at first base, this would seem to be it.
Well, I mean, just with pure athleticism and flexibility, and just being younger, obviously. If Salvi could kind of pull it off over there, and Salvi does a decent job out there.
Salvi is a dancing bear.
He does. He's a decent, but for his body and for how beat up he is, and from catching all those years, he does a nice job out there.
I agree. Salvi's a much better first baseman than I would have ever thought.
But the one thing, I agree. Cags should be at first.
One thing I said, well, he's got a great arm. Yeah, which really comes in handy when he misplays a fly ball and has to try to throw the guy out at third.
And the biggest value you can have at all defensive positions is range.
Right.
Getting to balls is the most important thing, no matter where you are. Every place. Michael Garcia grades so highly, and even that's eroding, but grades so highly at third base because he has range. Bobby's, everyone talks about, he's going to be a 10-WAR player. And 8.6 of it is going to be off his defense, which 7.5 of that is the balls he gets to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, growing up, I remember Ron Santo. You remember that name?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Third baseman for
Finally
the Cubs.
got to the hole.
His range was like a foot to his right and a foot to his left. He had the best fielding percentage, but he never got to any balls.
Yeah.
And Brooks Robinson, he had a better fielding percentage than Brooks Robinson, but Brooks Robinson was going all over the field.
That was
trying to field ball.
He never made an error, but he never got to anything.
He never got to anything, right. I said, well, Ron Santos got the best fielding percentage of third baseman.
Oh, you talk about errors, and it's like, because he just stands in one place.
Yeah, he just reached out to his left or went across to his right.
Getting that one.
Yeah.
Boy.
No, I don't. Yeah, I love the people.
I don't think
they're
they're
right.
going to move Waka.
I don't think they are either. They're going to move. They're going to move Schreiber and Lane Thomas. Now that's it, because everybody else we need. Those are the two guys that aren't under contract that have value. They'll move the two of them, and that's it. I'll be stunned if they move anybody else.
Let's just cash it in at this point and try to get some younger guys and give them. Some,
you have to admit that 27 is not a winning year. And the longer you
even have a,
the longer you make
if they have a season,
every time you make the mistake of flat out going for it in a year that you can't win, you set yourself back 2 years.
Yep, absolutely right.
Like you need to go for it when it's time to go for it, but if you go for it when it's not time, it's a killer. It's an absolute killer because you burn resources on a season that's going nowhere. So, I mean, if you don't flip Lane Thomas, like every time you sign somebody for 1 year, you better either make the playoffs or get eliminated in the final days of the season,
right?
Or you better have traded them. Otherwise, you blew it. And I don't understand why they can see what they did with Aroldis Chapman and not be like, this is our plan with everybody we sign on a 1 year deal.
Right.
Like if we are not in it, we are flipping him. And they moved him early. They didn't wait till the deadline. They jumped on it. They got the guy they wanted, Cole Reagans. They said, done.
Yeah.
Here he is.
Right.
Let's go. This season's going nowhere. We'll take it. And yet they have not tried to repeat that once since.
Yeah. It's and then you get the prospect huggers out there too. And that's what we're going through right now. But he's like, we don't want to trade him. We don't want to get rid of him.
The Cubs, and Jeff Passan, you need to go back and listen to the Passan segment on Monday, the podcast.
I would love to.
Because he talked about the Cubs. He goes, come on, you're the freaking Cubs.
I know.
Like you're swimming in money and you're farting around with.
I texted him today. It's like, hey, let me know what's going on. He goes, yeah, you're probably not going to like it.
He said, new phone, who dis?
Yeah, no, he knows that, during the trade deadline and before, during the baseball, what do they call it? The baseball winter meetings. I'm always texting him. He's like, Grenny's back. He's texting me about the damn Cubs. What do you want to know?
Yeah.
He says, he told me if I find anything out, but you're probably not going to like it. I guess Soriano is one of the guys they're looking at. And Detmer, is it from the Angels?
Reed Detmer.
Yeah. But those guys are controllable, and they want the catcher, a kid named Ayers, who's a catcher, a AAA catcher for the Cubs.
The fact that
nobody wants to give him. No, we're not.
If the Milwaukee Brewers trade for Tarek Skubal,
yeah, that's a joke. Yeah,
Cub fans should boycott like the next homestand. If the small ass market Brewers go get Tarek Skubal,
the Cubs are
and the Cubs don't.
The Cubs are in a catch-22 because everybody wants to go out to Wrigley Field for the experience. I mean, yeah, it's great if they win, but they're always going to be there because it's kind of the place to be. It's a great place to be. They're drinking beer outside, old iconic ballpark. So they're always going to. I mean, you could have a team that is winning 30, 40, 50 games a year, and you're still going to have 25,000 people out there, and that's low. I think it holds like 41 or 42. Most of the time it's 41, 42, even though they have a losing record.
But you're not even counting. They now own everything around it, so all those rooftops are revenue for them.
They have hotels there now.
They're putting in more like 50,000, 60,000. I don't even know how many people, and then they're selling them all the beer and all the food that's being sold up in those
$19 a beer.
It's like, come on.
Yeah,
they're swimming in money in Chicago, and they just don't give a crap. And you dumbass Cub fans keep rooting for it.
I know.
I know what you're thinking.
We're a product of our own demise.
Yeah, it is, no doubt. Well, do you want to talk Chiefs or no? Do you want to pivot and
I don't know.
Want to talk?
I mean, listen.
Want to talk LeBron for the Sixers now?
Today's the first day. So here we go. Season's officially started. This is when it officially starts. Not when the rookies show up and run around their underwear.
It starts at the American Century Championships in Lake Tahoe. That's when we start talking. We got lots of football guests then. That's when it really, for me, it starts.
For you. This is when it starts for me. Not when the rookies show up. It's when the rest of the guys show up. So day one, I got to hear about how great Cyrus Allen is already.
Well, don't you like that?
I do. But, first day.
What do you want to hear? God, this guy
Well,
sucks.
do you remember the first day when I think it was Nate Bukaty, not trying to rip on Nate. I was at practice today, and Patrick Mahomes threw 3 interceptions. I think it's like, boy, it didn't look good. I don't know. So you just never know. I mean, first
Is that an exact quote, or are you making that up?
Pretty close.
He's in the ballpark. He was throwing picks early, and I'm going to tell you, but I don't know. I don't remember Nate saying that, so this is not in response to Nate.
No.
No, but I remember people.
We love Nate.
No, you're 100%
But
right.
somebody, I was listening.
You're 100% right that people were bitching about it because I remember, first of all, maybe I was just rooting for my own prediction, but we were big his last year at Texas Tech saying, hey, they're saying third round. I'm like, I think you're going to have to get him in the second round, but I love this kid.
Yeah.
He's got all this stuff. And so we were big on him. And you remember draft night, we were doing the show together. And,
absolutely.
I lost my mind because we thought Reuben Foster, they're going up to 10. I'm like, going up to 10 to get the linebacker. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
We didn't give no thought to the idea that they were going to take a quarterback.
Boy.
But then he was. And I remember telling the story. I'm like, I think everyone needs to calm the blank down because I remember talking to Andy Reid, Alex Smith's first camp. And Reed would said a number of times, listen, I keep telling Alex, make mistakes. This is the time to make mistakes. I want you to go down the field. I want you to try to thread the needle. This is where I want you to throw the interceptions because this is where we learn what our limit is. If you come away from training camp and you didn't throw any interceptions, we're in trouble.
Yeah.
Because I need you to find how far you can go.
Yeah.
And then we'll dial back from there. Pat embraced that right away.
He did.
Okay, that's what you want, Coach?
Yeah.
Hell yeah, let's do it.
That's a great point.
And he started firing everywhere. And he can I make this? No, okay, I can't do that. How about this? No, I can't do that. And he dialed it down. And what did he do the first year? He goes 50-10 or whatever it was. I mean, there was clearly no problem once he started.
Yeah, because I remember in training camp we were talking about, well, he doesn't have a lot of great technique. His fundamentals, his footwork's messed up. And who was the quarterback coach back then? It was the guy that went to the
Mike
Giants.
Kafka?
Yeah,
Mike Kafka was either.
He went to the Giants, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he was like his personal coach.
Yeah.
He was working on his footwork and working on his timing and working on his leverage and working on the throws. And you're exactly right when you bring up the point about, hey, listen, that's the time to air it out. And the great thing about Patrick Mahomes is he never got down on himself. He's like, I didn't make that shot, but
because he knows he's good.
Yeah. Yeah,
because he knows he's good.
And to your point with Alex, and God bless Alex. I mean, great guy. And,
absolutely.
But he wasn't taking any chances.
No chance. It's the other thing is I'd like to go back and look. I don't know how many picks Pat threw last year. Look it up. Remind me. I think it was like 12 or something. It was like 25-12. It wasn't a great year. We know I don't know what 4 of them were on Kelsey.
There's a couple. Bounces off the hands.
Kelsey, I was. They were running Chiefs games from last year on NFL Network, and I was up working late, and I was like, I totally forgot how piss poor Kelsey was at times last year. This was going to be a touchdown against the Eagles.
That's what it was.
They're running back, and that's the play that Josh Simmons
that killed me.
Gets on his bike and runs down the linebacker and gets him at midfield. But that was going to be the game-winning touchdown.
Right.
Philly was going nowhere, and right through his hands, going the other direction.
11.
And so at 11, I mean, I'll bet you, how many's he got in his career?
85.
All right, he's got 85 picks in his career. I'll bet you a minimum of 5. And forget about, we know Kadarius Toney's responsible for about 5 of those too. And in 4 games, that wonderful individual.
I could think of 3 just off the top of my head.
Yes. The opener against Detroit. Take it. What do we say after that Detroit game? Didn't he was responsible for 2, I think, in that Detroit game. And Curtis said, do you realize that if Kadarius Toney took every pass that was thrown to him and just slapped it into the ground, the Chiefs win?
Yes.
Like that. And it was true.
Day.
Right? He killed him. And every quarterback has the receiver, do that. But he's got I would venture, if we looked it up, if we put iPhone here, on looking up every interception, we would find that at least 5 of them were at the end of a half where he Hail Married it up there. Yeah. And God bless Alex. I don't see it. I'm going to grab 14 yards rushing because I don't want to ding my completion percentage or add a pick because my calling card is I'm only going to throw 18 touchdowns, so I better have 4 picks. Or I'm going to be, his big year, he had 26 his last year as a starter, and everyone, oh my God, how are you trading this guy? Well, 26 touchdowns.
The telltale is, we talked about it when Alex is, once again, we're not just piling on Alex, we're just kind of comparing and contrasting, talking a little bit about the quarterback position with Patrick Mahomes and early, but with Alex. We talked about this. It's 2 minutes. It was so conservative. It was, and and the dirty little secret for everybody out there: the opponent in a 2-minute drive really isn't the defense.
It's the clock.
It's the clock. and he was getting his ass kicked from the clock because he'd roam around. He wouldn't see it, and then he'd run for like 6 yards and then go out of bounds or get down.
He'd get the ball with
and it would eat up so much
2:25 and 2 timeouts, and all of a sudden you're like, we just burnt the last timeout. There's 29 seconds and we're at their 44.
Right.
Like he's burnt 2 minutes of clock, 2 timeouts, the 2-minute timeout. And
it's not even,
they've gone 40 yards.
It's not even down in distance. Everybody's like, "Oh, down in distance." No, it's the clock.
You get an extra down.
The clock. Yeah, absolutely.
And we had to listen to some people in this town for an entire year because Patrick Mahomes wasn't playing and Alex Smith was having his best season.
Yeah.
About Patrick,
26-5.
Patrick Mahomes is a bust and all that crap. And I
it wasn't
remember
just this town.
No,
national guys too.
There were national guys too, yeah. But there was plenty of people in this town.
Yeah, right.
And I remember being like, I know he's not playing. First of all, he threw the 70-yard touchdown against the Falcons
in a preseason
and you're like,
game.
Let me see Alex do that.
There you go.
Right?
Yeah.
But then I remember just working out on the practice field. And it's like, okay, 2-minute drill. I'm like, oh, they're leaving 15 in. He's going to run the 2-minute drill. And the first pass was like a 27-yard rocket. And it's like,
wow.
One play, they're already across midfield. Like, oh, this would have taken 2 minutes, 2 timeouts, and a 2-minute warning for Alex Smith to go this far.
How'd you like to
and
be-
he did it with one pass. I was like, this is why you take
There it
this
is.
kid.
Well, then you put him in against the Denver Broncos. What was the last game of the year?
With nobody, with me and Curtis around
how
him.
would you like to be a Denver Bronco executive / coach / player / fan and say this is the guy we got to deal with for the next 15 years?
Because what was great was that he left, then came back, and on the last drive that they put him back in, it was like 2 throws.
I don't remember all this. You remember everything.
Well, they were up.
No, yeah, they were up 14. I do remember that because they were up. The game didn't matter.
Yeah, they brought in Tyler Bray.
Yeah,
Tyler
right.
Bray fumbled one and threw a pick.
Yeah, fumbled one that was immediately returned for a touchdown.
And
then he threw a pick, and they're like,
and then Reed's like, okay, enough.
They
Get
tied
in
it
there, Pat.
They tied it and they put him in with a minute and a half left.
And he went down and got a field goal to win.
Yeah. Like, that, there he is. That's the man.
That told the story.
Yeah.
But a couple things to training camp for everybody out there in this.
I will hold that.
Okay.
We'll take a break since Tim's going to, we'll come back. We'll talk about LeBron to the Sixers. I think Tim wants to get up there. Maybe some golf.
You're the one that brought
I don't
the
know.
baseball.
Maybe some Cubs. Maybe some Blackhawk hockey.
Wimbledon.
No, I've lost track of that completely.
Yeah, because your 1-1 sucks. It's not like my 1-1 in San Jose. I will tell you that Tim Grunhard is brought to you by our friends at the Plumbing Pro. Don't spend your whole Saturday making trips to the hardware store. You got tea times. You got kids' games. Let the Plumbing Pro get it done for you. The one to know is the Plumbing Pro. Find them online at remember the is important, theplumbingpro.com. Here in the program here on Sports Radio 810 WHB. Tim Grunhard's here, brought to you by the Plumbing Pro. They handle complete plumbing service, sewer, septic, drain installation, and repair. The guys at the Plumbing Pro really dig their work. You know, sometimes you have that underground sewer line, you hear everybody coming and talking about it. Yeah, it can be a big deal. And if you need that, they can get the backhoes and whatever they need. But also they have a great system of their low-impact pipe bursting. You can save your landscape, your driveway, your sidewalks, your bank accounts. They basically thread the new pipe into the old pipe. It basically breaks around, and those clay pipes break around it. And you've got a now new modern line right into the house. You can find out. You can save a lot of money with the Plumbing Pro. They're experts at all things plumbing. Find them online at theplumbingpro.com. Tim, you said, what did you say when I said what do you...
Yeah, no, talking about some of the things to look for in training camp. You know, number one is, you know, you got to find it settled on a secondary. Messer Delane, who's still wearing a yellow
Not
jersey.
a concern yet.
Not a concern.
But will be if it continues.
So, and then, you know, obviously a couple new safeties. So the communication back there, that's really important in this training camp. The wide receiver hierarchy, who's the number one? Do they have a number one? Can Rashid Rice, who I guess was cleared to practice after his, you know, surgery and then incarceration, and now he's in camp, whether he can be a number one. Xavier Worthy, can he finally run some good routes? I mean, he's got speed. Once again, the running game, I think, will help him because I think his speed, once again, and we say this every year that, you know, the Chiefs are going to be able to run the ball. They're going to be effective in running game. The safeties are going to have to come up, and it never happens. I think this year with Walker, they have an opportunity to do that. I was talking with some guys just the other day about the shotgun to the underneath and how much better Walker is. Sitting back there at 7 or 8 yards where he can have some vision going downhill instead of having to step sideways and then run across the quarterback and hand off and kind of, you know, lose a little bit of momentum. He's a momentum running back. He does a great job of reading on the run. He doesn't need the time to read from the shotgun. So that's another thing you want to look for in training camp. And then, you know, always I got to talk about the offensive line. Simmons, you know, let's hope he's got his head straight and stays healthy because I think he could be an excellent left tackle. The battle with Moore and Benson, I think that's what I told you guys last week, and you guys made fun of me, but I think that's the guy that I'm going to be watching. I'd like to see him be the guy that steps up because, once again, like we always talk about, it's good to have young guys play because you can save some money on the back end. And then, you know, obviously, is Suamatia going to be a solid left tackle, but you know, left guard. But you know, today was season ticket holder day out there. When Patrick Mahomes came on the field, he got a standing ovation from everybody. A lot of excitement out there. But there's a lot of things that need to be done in this training camp. This is an important training camp for the Kansas City Chiefs personnel and for the coaches. And the Eric Bieniemy not being there, it's a heartbreaking thing. And I got all the stats. We don't need to talk about that. We're talking about, you know, whether they're going to press charges. There's all kinds of different things going on. It's really not up to the family whether they press charges. It's up to the district attorney whether they press charges. But he can get up to 30 years. He'd only serve 85% of that. That's the maximum. The minimum is probation. And it sounds like the family is going to ask for probation and try to, you know, get him some help. I don't know anything about the kid.
Yeah, I don't either. And so we wish all the best for everybody.
Yeah,
it's just a horrible situation.
That would be a horrible phone call to get. I can't even imagine.
No. Yeah, I can't imagine. I mean, it's so much so because we sit here and you think about it. You can never imagine one of your kids.
No. It'd be like McCollum, who's the same age.
Yeah.
You know, and my wife, we're Eric Bieniemy are the same age. We played against each other when we were in Notre Dame in Colorado.
Yeah.
And, I mean, hit close to home just thinking about that boy, what a sad situation that would be.
Jeff Chadilla he had buddies when he played at Wyoming that were buddies with Bieniemy in Colorado, and he used to hang out. They used to go down from Laramie down to Boulder, and so he's known Eric going all the way back to when they were playing in college as well. And he talked about just how tough it's been, and you know, you just can't imagine it. I mean, anyone who has kids, I really can't think of anything worse.
Yeah, and hope the kid can get some help. There's got to be something going on, but
and I think if people don't know, and Sam mentioned this, that Eric Bieniemy's other son is a special needs child, and Eric Bieniemy's wife is the primary caregiver.
Yeah.
So, and you know, that complicates everything as well.
And it's not a secret. And, you know, I learned this only the 2 years that I was at KU. but coaches, they're just not around.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a very, very taxing thing on the family. The wives are really, both the mother and the father, because the coaches aren't there. We saw with Andy, Andy having some issues with some of his kids because they're just not around. And it's not, it's just the nature of the job, the nature of the beast. And you give up a little bit to get a little bit. And it's hard to say give up and get, but you know what I mean. We pray for their family. And I know that he wants to get back, and I know they want him back, but he's got to take care of his wife. Sounds like she's doing a lot better. Sounds like she, made a turn for the better. So let's hope and pray that she's doing okay. But this is really an important training camp for the Kansas City Chiefs up in St. Joe. I guess I will talk about it. We don't have time, but they came up with where the new practice facility and all the offices are going to be in Olathe, and I have a feeling that that's where training camp's going to be when it's eventually.
I don't
all
think
said
it's a
and done.
feeling. It's a done deal.
Yeah.
It's a done deal for sure.
So start in St. Joe for the next 10 years or so, and then it's all up.
Not that long.
Yeah.
Tim, congratulations on your hole-in-one.
Thank you very much.
All right, on this date in 1989, the Rangers and White Sox made a 5-player trade. Name any two of the players. Brought to you by La Feta Delicatessen.
Fourth quarter of the program begins right now. We talk hole-in-one. Tim Grunhard hit a hole-in-one today. That's the first thing you need to know.
Let's talk about it.
Grunny hit a hole-in-one. Congratulations to Tim Grunhard. He was on like just an endorphin high. Come bopping in here, smiling and happy. Usually comes in here pissing and moaning, grumpy.
And this is a guy who won a national championship in college, played 11 years in the NFL, went to the Pro Bowl, is a Chiefs Ring of Honor member, and he's all geeked up because he hit a hole-in-one. That's fantastic. I love it.
Yeah, it is. So you need to know Grunny hit a hole-in-one. If you know Grunhard, give him some congratulations because he was quite fired up to get it done. You also need to know that Chiefs training camp is up and running, and we've got the full squad in, Curtis.
Mm-hmm. Everyone is there.
Yeah, everyone is there, including the president of the Kansas City Chiefs. Mark Donovan addresses the media, usually at training camp. That day was today.
Always bright and early.
Yeah, it is always early. Let's start with Mark Donovan discussing the latest renderings for the Kansas City Chiefs. He was asked about that new stadium and how it looks.
You're sitting in that room for 4 months, looking at design after design after design after design, and we kept zeroing in on, like, we got to get the balance right of honoring Arrowhead, but also looking at the future. And I thought David Manick and his team did an amazing job of really accepting that challenge and distributing it. One of the more satisfying parts of the feedback we got after we released the renderings was that was one of the first comments from most of the fans. It's like, wow, I see Arrowhead.
Yes. That's the last part of that I really like, because that's of the positives I heard. That was the first thing that was the thing I heard the most. Oh yeah, I like the peaks.
Really,
the
because Sam McDowell last night on our Red, Gold, and Bold basically was like, "What are you doing? You're leaving Arrowhead. Stop trying to appease others. You have a blank canvas. Build the best stadium."
Fair argument. Yeah,
I think it's. Yes, I think it's a fair argument. For sure, it's a fair argument. I do agree with, but I don't think, I think both things can be true.
Yeah.
I think you have a blank canvas to work with, but that doesn't mean it can't pay homage or it can't have, some similar features to what Arrowhead had. You know, this city loved Arrowhead Stadium. So there are things that, and the first wave of fans that are going to be buying tickets there are going to be people that knew Arrowhead. There will only be a handful of people who are 22 and can afford playoff tickets. They're like, I never got to a Chiefs game over there. Most everybody either had, even the youngest season ticket holder, the youngest ticket buyer, went there as a kid. And if they like it and that makes them feel good, then this would be a wise decision. Now, if you compromise, if you're like, well, it turns out we're not going to be able to have Final Fours because we did this design thing that's like Arrowhead. Okay, dumb. But if you compromise nothing and you bring things that make it more comfortable for people who loved Arrowhead Stadium, I don't see where the negative is.
No, because how many times I've thought, look at Arrowhead, imagine if that was indoors. How would that look? Well, it sounds like when you walk into it, from what we've seen, when it's open, you're going to get that idea. This is what Arrowhead would look like. They said, we're going to rebuild this stadium, but we're going to put a roof over it. That's what it would look like.
Yeah.
It's the same way people want fountains or some version of Crown Vision at the new Royals place.
Yep.
That's exactly what I said to him. I said, well, what was the biggest complaint we had about the Kaufman, the new Royals renderings that were thrown out there around the boat? There's no water feature. There's no fountains. There's no crown, and what has John Sherman said since? What did he say when they had the big unveiling at Crown Center? It will have a crown. It will have a water feature, right? Like, we've heard what the fans want, and we will make sure that we give you what you want. And so I get it. The more I look at the designs, the more I like it.
Same.
Yeah, I did have somebody say to me, it appears that they built it all above ground, that they didn't dig down because of how massive it looks, how tall it looks. One thing I will caution people about it, and that is that I don't know how much they'll dig in, and how much they'll bring it down. But if you just Google aerial photo of whatever they call Reliant now, I don't know, Ellen,
your name here.
Yeah, your gas company here.
I think it's NRG.
NRG. It sits right next to the Astrodome, which the Astros and Oilers played in. And I want you to see just how much bigger the building is.
Looks like a high school
well,
gymnasium.
you're like, oh, there's an arena over here. Okay,
like
that's what it looks like. And I am going to tell you that this stadium is going to, if they do it right, is going to dwarf it. When you walk into Jerry World, you're like, this place is freaking big.
Yeah, and the Astrodome was called the eighth wonder of the world when it was made. And it looks like, as you said, from an aerial shot, is that a basketball arena? Oh, no, that's the Astrodome.
Yeah, so trust me. I mean, get ready. It's going to be big. And that's going to be a good thing, by the way. All right, let's hear Mark Donovan. More from Mark Donovan, Chiefs president, said they're ready to go after big events.
We have been in discussions with the NFL about Super Bowls in 33, 34, 35. We have been in discussions, very preliminary discussions, but we are aggressively pursuing Final Fours. If you know anything or follow anything about the NCAA, they're going to go out with a bid here. And the thing about it is that if you're the NCAA, you're trying to sort of put stability into your future planning. So they're trying to lock in all these dates.
I'm just going to roll right into the next one because they kind of go together. He was asked why they've been so aggressive in going after events.
We don't have a building yet, and we don't want to be knocked out of those because they've locked in so many so far out. So we were in discussions with the NCAA last week about could we bid on these dates that our stadium will be done by then, but it's not done right now. So they were appreciative of that. I think, we've said to Kathy Nelson and the team there, we said to the folks who help us with these kind of bids that we're going to be very, very aggressive. We're probably going to be early bidders on most things. Acknowledging that doesn't really enhance our chances of winning the bid. Because I've been on the other side of that, and you really want stability, you want predictability, you want certainty. So it'll be a challenge, but when we did this deal, we made the commitment that we're going to be really aggressive. And we think that this facility is going to have the ability to host all kinds of events. And frankly, you think about the events that we're talking about bidding for right now, 95% of them, we wouldn't be able to bid on now because we don't have an indoor stadium.
Yep.
Man, if somebody had just had a microphone back about 20 plus years ago and had said, look at all the events you could have.
And a pair of glasses and a goatee and a black T-shirt.
There you go.
Yeah.
I mean, I wish we were well into the tenure of the first dome.
15 years.
Because I also think had you done that back then, it would have been a retractable roof one, which I think is one of the things that people would want, right? If you had said, okay, what don't you like? The thing that I hear from people is, well, yeah, I want to open the roof. I want it to be able to be open air. And I will tell you, that is not the new norm. Let's hear Mark Donovan, because then we can talk about the events and the building and what kind of events you can have because of it. Last one from Mark Donovan. On a retractable roof, he was asked, did they consider it?
Yeah, we looked at it. I think there are a number of reasons that came into play. Obviously, cost is one thing. Efficiency is another. I mean, behind the scenes, I would share that we talked to every single team that has a retractable roof. And I don't want to put words in their mouth, but it was pretty clear. It's not worth it. And if you think about how many people actually use it and retract it that often, it's pretty small. And on the positive side, the technology is changing so rapidly. And a fixed roof today versus a fixed roof 5 years ago is significantly different. A fixed roof 5 years from now is going to be significantly different.
Yeah. 20 years ago, a solid roof you couldn't see through probably.
Right.
Now you
can see through
some of those things.
So you can get the sunlight and get that kind of feel for it. Now they do, not a rolling roof. No one's done a rolling roof like the Truman Sports Complex was proposing back when it was new and then when they did renovations. But SoFi in LA is a roof that
It's like an awning.
Yeah, it's like an awning. I mean, that covers an entertainment area outside as well as the stadium. So there is new stuff that's there. I think the reason why I wanted to play all that together is a couple of things. My understanding is it will be grass. That Clark Hunt is adamant about it having grass. Is it going to have a rollout tray? Not determined yet. And we've pointed out that New Zealand has a couple of indoor stadiums that grows grass. I would really be surprised if it doesn't have a rollout tray. Vegas rolls out the grass. They grow it outside. Vegas then rolls in synthetic turf for UNLV because they're like, yeah, we like you as a tenant, but we're not putting the wear and tear on the Raider grass for you. You can play in this beautiful building, but you're going to play on this. And I think you may want that for other events, but you may not. You may only need the grass tray at Arrowhead. But if you're going to really beef up the concerts, you do not want to be having everybody traipsing around on your grass.
No.
And I think you can beef up the concerts. And I think one of the things that as Kansas City grows in the future, our central location is big. And so I think with this structure, there are some big conventions that use domes as their convention floor that Kansas City can get involved in. So do you want 4 days of your grass being covered with crap? I mean, how many times do you want to do it? I just think to maximize the events, you want the tray that rolls out, and I think that's what ultimately you will get. And then underneath, I've mentioned many times, Glendale, you wire it for electrical and data every however many feet to where you can do just about any event there. And for the Final Four, that's better too. It makes it easier to seat down there, have temporary stands. I think all those things. Like you can learn from every dome that's come around. The retractable roof thing, I will say this. I have heard that. And Nashville, closed roof. Cleveland, closed roof. Chicago's renderings, closed roof. Who's the other? There's another dome coming up. Cleveland, Nashville, Chicago. I'm missing. There's another dome that's coming. All of them closed roof. Every single one of them is a closed roof for exactly what he said. In fact, Atlanta's roof is like screwed up. They don't even try to open it anymore. They went with
Denver.
Denver is going to have a closed roof. Denver is going to have a closed roof, and they spare no expense. That's the richest owner in the NFL that lavishes money everywhere, and they are going to have a closed roof. I would say this. Here's what I would say to people who would want it to be open air. One, you need the Chiefs to be able to generate all this revenue, to be able to give bigger signing bonuses and to help the football team. Making more money for the team will make the team better. Secondly,
which will make your game day experience better, even if there's no clouds above.
My understanding is we're talking about like on a $3 billion dome, a $750 million additional cost. So $3.75 billion. Are you willing to pay more in your ticket for that? Listen, if you had the Broncos ownership, if you had somebody who's worth $100 billion and money was no object, put the rolling roof in. It's a pure luxury. I'll cover the cost. I got more money and I know what to do with. And I want my fans to say this has got everything we could ever possibly want. Then give them the retractable roof. If you don't have that kind of money, or if you're unwilling to spend it, and you said to the fans, are you willing to pay 25% more for your tickets for me to put this roof on? 25% more for everything we put in here. And anything cheap. So we're talking about your 50-yard line ticket goes from $500 to $625. You know, your suites go from $1,000 a head to $1,250 a head. Are you willing to make that kind of investment for me to have a roof that we open when the weather is perfect? Not all the time.
Which might be half the year.
Not even. It won't be close because it rains in some of those times.
Yeah.
Sometimes you're going to look at it like today's 84 degrees and wet and muggy as crap. I don't want to sit outside today.
No.
I would rather sit inside.
Absolutely.
So are you willing to pay 25% more to maybe only get to use it 5% of the time? I am not. So I get that thinking in what they're doing
for sure
with the roof. And so far, I like what I'm hearing.
Hearing and seeing.
Yeah, I think it looks pretty good. They've also got some things. My understanding is, number one, your walkways into the stadium are going to be better. The walkways are not going to cross the traffic patterns. The traffic flow will be better. They're very sensitive to the traffic flow. There will be even more parking spaces than there is right now. So tailgaters, you will get what you want. They are also talking about, I've heard things about like tailgate centers for lack of a better term. So as you go out into the parking lot, there will be structures built with permanent bathrooms. How about not the scent of the Porta-John or the look
Or
of the
falling
row
in,
of porta
as someone
toilets?
did last week.
No offense to those who make the Porta-Johns. Love them when I need one. Okay? But if you had permanent bathrooms that you could walk to that flush, that also have a concession stand. You want to cook all your stuff? Great. But you want to just go buy a couple things, go out there and not have to, pack for 4 hours the night before on what are you going to do? They're going to put concession areas out there to where you can go buy food there. Probably very expensive. I'm not going to lie to you. But if you don't want to deal with it, you can have it. And so you will have these kind of tailgate centers that are out in the parking lots that to me will enhance the tailgating experience.
Very cool idea.
Yeah, I think it's really cool. Patrick Mahomes is playing. We move on to Andy Reid. He was asked how closely they're monitoring Mahomes.
I'm obviously keeping a close eye on him. I'm not the doctor, but I'm keeping a close eye on the small things technique-wise. But he's prepared for those things, and Julie has done a great job with him with his rehab of really giving him opportunities to push off, and whether it's lateral or straight ahead, to make sure he can escape as needed. He's got good strength. He made good strength through the practices he's been in, where he can still bend and throw, and he trusts the leg to drive on it. So I think those are all important things. But I stand right behind him, so we talk.
We talk. We've met.
Listen, it's the most valuable sports entity in the history of Kansas City. They're not screwing around.
No.
They're not screwing
We
around.
talk.
Exactly. Exactly.
And every shot you see from the end zone, you see Patrick Mahomes.
Yep.
Right
There's
behind
Andy.
him is Andy Reid.
Steven St. John posted a video this morning of an animated Patrick Mahomes throwing a touchdown pass. Then he's celebrating and he's jumping up and down. I
Yeah.
wanted to go, Pat, be careful.
Yeah, set up.
But he looks good. He's jumping up and down.
Yeah, he's feeling pretty good. That's for sure. Kenneth Walker should hopefully make him feel even better if you can get some chunk plays by just handing the ball off. Don't have to burn through that play sheet as much. Kenneth Walker was at the podium today, asked where he developed his patient style.
Yeah, I just believe over the years, running the ball since growing up and just working with my pops, just seeing the defense I believe that's how I really learned how to be patient or, explosive. It just depends on what the play is, honestly. And would you ask for the second question?
Yeah, is that something you feel like really feels like fits into this offense that you can add something to?
Yeah, definitely. I feel like that helps the O-line. Sometimes you got to be fast, but others you got to be patient and, let the blocks develop and just hit the hole.
Kenneth, a follow-up, courtesy of Day 10 WHB. Do you think it's important to really pound the ground with your feet as you run?
Do you want to have a bunch of motion with your feet but not actually create any progress? Oh, I'm sorry, that was last year's question. Hang on, I gotta scroll through my notes here. Hold on. Isaiah Pacheco won championships here, but
it's
I
a great
think,
story.
Yeah,
7th round running back, won 2 rings. That's pretty cool.
After being a longtime Charger and 1-year Raven, Alohi Gilman was asked about the new safety for the Chiefs on a 3-year, $24 million deal. By the way, and it was a very short time, 12-game Raven, brought over at the trade deadline. I said 1 year, but he wasn't there the full year, so I don't want anyone to, he wasn't there a year. Yes, I know. I'm aware.
Stand down.
But Gilman asked about the rest of the DB room.
This group is a little bit more quiet than I'd say than other DB personalities that I've been around. So it's been a little bit harder to get the shell out of them a little more. So I would take them out to dinner every week during OTAs. Take them out. We'll go hang out. Just little stuff like that. Guys have different things and different journeys. They're all NIL babies, most of them. So I didn't have the NIL. I was living off of fast food checks, and I thought I was rich still. So I would talk about that, and they're like, "Dang, fast food, what is that?" So just stuff like that. They're all NIL babies. They got a whole bunch of money. I was trying to buy a burger for Five Guys. They're a great group. I love every single one of them. They've welcomed me with open arms and just hard workers, just straight to the point. Kind of like me, kind of a no nonsense, just get to work and let's get after it kind of people.
Gilman is 28. He'll be 29 in September. So we're talking about a veteran player, and there's a lot of young players in that room, as we've talked about. They're going to look to him
Yeah.
Will they get the kind of guidance you want? I'm going to take you back to an interview I did at the American Century Championships in Lake Tahoe. This is Kyle Hamilton, Pro Bowl safety for the Baltimore Ravens. I asked Hamilton at that time who his biggest football mentor was.
Biggest mentor in football? I mean, there's a plethora of people that have helped me along the way. Alohi Gilman, who is with y'all now.
Yes, he is.
Alohi Gilman, my freshman year at Notre Dame, talked me off the ledge multiple times.
Really?
As a freshman, coming to camp and part of America that I've never really been in, growing up in Atlanta, going up to South Bend, Indiana, and just kind of a brutal story. I was playing well in camp. I had 3 picks day 1 of camp, and I was just like, this is brutal. I hooped in high school. I was like, damn, I should have hooped. That seems a lot more fun. But Alohi just was talking to me about the grind, and everybody's been through it, and I put everything into perspective. And then he was on our team last year, so it was just a full circle moment, and had the same mentality. So I'm sure he's going to do the same thing in KC for y'all.
You like hearing that, right?
Yep.
All right, Stephen St. John up covering practice for us. You hear him every morning on a New Day with SSJ. He asked Gilman about what Hamilton had said about him.
Yeah, I mean, I was a senior. He was a young, talented freshman coming in, kind of just growing in his space. And, it got hard. Football is a tough business. It's a tough sport. So me being as a friend and a teammate, wanted to make sure, a guy like that with that much potential, you got to believe in yourself. You got to let things go, and you just got to play. And as you can see, he's one of the top guys. So that's my guy, and hopefully I can continue to be that guy for anyone else in the building. And I'm grateful to just be in this position.
Pretty humble guy.
Yep. And you can see
one
the
of the best defensive players. Kyle Hamilton is not just a great. I mean, he plays some corner. He plays some linebacker. He is a Swiss Army knife on defense. He's one of the best defensive players in football. And I asked him who his football mentor was, and he said that guy.
Yeah.
That makes you feel pretty good.
Kyle Hamilton's probably going to wear a gold jacket.
I mean, yes, barring injury.
I think he's going that
He's
direction.
that kind of player.
Yeah.
And his biggest football. I mean, this sucks. I wish I'd hooped.
Yeah.
And Alohi Gilman talked him. His words talked him off the ledge.
Yeah. I haven't heard a lot from Gilman, but everything I hear is great. If he's a good player, and every indication he's going to be, Chiefs fans are going to love him.
Yeah. It's good to have him on the roster. All right. It's always good to talk to Mike Renner. We'll talk about some stuff that he has written, detailing all of the draft picks out there. We'll also maybe even take a peek ahead to next year's draft. He covers the draft for CBS Sports. He joins us next.
The program with Soren Petro.
You guys really suck. You guys really suck.
Weekdays from 2 to 6 on Sports Radio 810 WHB.
All right, listen up. Do you want true smart home technology? Of course you do. I love it. One of the things I love is that when I'm downstairs watching games, first of all, I can watch all my games. You want a football theater? That's what I call it. It's a nice little area where we can watch movies as a family if we want, but when it's game day, bring the guys over. We can watch all the games. 3 TVs on the wall. You want it? They can do it. How about 5 TVs on the wall? How about being able to control them all right there from your smartphone? If you love college Saturdays, if you love NFL Sundays, you will love what Applause Custom Sight and Sound can give you. Build your ultimate football theater today. Then when it's all done and you got all those TVs on and you got the lights on and you're ready to go to bed, you head upstairs like, oh, God, I got to go turn everything off. No, you don't. One button, top of the stairs. That's what we have. It says all off on it. I press that. Everything's turned off downstairs. Even if one of my buddies left the light or the fan on in the bathroom, don't be, no road games. You know what I'm saying here, but every now and then it happens. Is that fan going to be running all night? No, I hit the all off. Literally everything in the basement turns off all right there. I don't have to worry about going around and shutting everything off. That's just a little bit of what smart home technology can do for you. Incorporating, your audio, your video, incorporating security, and incorporating your climate control, everything right there. Security is what we added last with Applause Custom Sight and Sound. I think it's important to note we added it to it, right? We had the system set up where we had all the entertainment features to it. We had all the lighting to it, but we didn't have the security and surveillance. Oh, man, we have to tear everything out and start over? No! Because Applause Custom Sight and Sound builds it right the first time. So it was like a one-day job. Now we've got 360-degree coverage of our house. I get alerts on my phone anytime anybody walks anywhere near our house. Our house is safe and secure thanks to Applause Custom Sight and Sound. And they did it all in one day. Whether you're building new, renovating, or your house was already done, like mine. They can install everything because just as good as they are when it comes to the technology, they're that good when it comes to the craftsmanship. They're that good when it comes to the customer service. So get the home you've always wanted. Call Applause today, 913-498-1183. Look them up on the web. It's applausetheater.com.
It's Truck Month at Robert Brogdon's Olathe Buick GMC. Save up to $14,000 on new 1500s with no payments until after Labor Day. Shop over 200 trucks at robertbrogdon.com or in person at I-35 in Santa Fe. GMC, we are professional grade.
Jayhawk fans, football Saturdays are calling. Season tickets for the 2026 football season are on sale now. Be there for every big play, every touchdown, and every unforgettable moment inside David Booth Kansas Memorial Stadium. Lock in the best seats, enjoy exclusive season ticket holder benefits, and be part of the tradition all season long. Don't miss a snap. Secure your 2026 Kansas football season tickets today by visiting KUathletics.com. Rock Chalk.
Men, when addressing the problem of erectile dysfunction, you want the right treatment for your specific medical situation because every case is different, and finding the right treatment can mean the difference between just an okay experience and an amazing one. This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health, and at our practices, we offer the full range of ED treatment protocols and can even combine therapies to help make those intimate moments special both for you and your partner. At Heartland Men's Health, we take great pride in providing excellent care and treatment options for ED.
You listen to the program here on Sports Radio 810 WHB. Petro Siebold Collier with you. We are going to talk some football here. Talk about the draft. Mike Renner does a great job breaking down the NFL draft from all angles. One of the really cool things he did was basically breaking down all the draft picks here for the last handful of years and then ranking them as far as where the best picks are. Top of the best first-round picks and who made the best decisions and all that. Got a lot of other great stuff. If you're a mock draft lover, the 27 mock draft is up there. All kinds of breakdowns on offense and defensive players. Mike Renner joins us right now here in the program from CBS Sports. Mike, how are you, buddy?
I'm doing fantastic. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, I appreciate the time. And, just first of all, you picked how did you pick the cutoff on how far you wanted to go back, right? On let's start with all the best first round draft picks. What was your decision making and what was the inspiration for, all right, let me check it in this window?
Yeah, I think decade's always clean. I thought go back 3 years, but then a lot of times you go back 3 years and it's like, well, the guys in the last two classes, sometimes you don't even know what you got. So I wanted to go back to a spot where, we had a good sample of players that you kind of know where they're at in their careers, right? Guys from 2020, 2021, 2022, even 2023 now, you pretty much know what you got in those draft picks. So I think that was a big enough sample of about 4 years there where you really felt comfortable saying, here's what teams had. That's why I went ahead and made that decision.
Yeah. Okay. And Joe Burrow at the top, did that surprise you? Did that, was that where you set out, what you thought it would be?
Yeah. So the rationale was obviously based off of a lot of value taken into account, but then value based off of relative to where you usually get value at the position. And with Joe Burrow, I just think the fact that he has, for a Cincinnati Bengals franchise that I know very well, I've lived in Cincinnati since 2015, Cincinnati area. What they were before Joe Burrow was probably the worst run organization in the NFL. Just like truthfully, like it might even still be, right? They cannot get out of their own way. And for him to have basically turned them into a overnight contender there, even though it was the number one overall pick, you have to go back and say he was quite easily the most franchise transforming number one overall pick over this span, and probably going back a pretty long time relative to what we see as the number one overall pick, at least to Andrew Luck, and probably even before that. So probably all the way back to Peyton Manning. So I do think that even though he was number one, and you expect number one to be a pretty good player year in and year out, he still has gone way above and beyond those expectations.
Yeah, that makes sense. I see where you're coming from on that. Let's talk about some of the Chiefs picks. The highest one on your list is number 18, and it's Trent McDuffie. And I think one of the things that's significant about that is he's the highest ranked one of the corners in that class, which also had Sauce Gardner and Stingley involved in it. They were the two guys that went in front of him. They went up at, I think, 3 and 4 or 4 and 5. I can't remember. Mm-hmm. And the Chiefs got McDuffie down at 21, yet McDuffie ranks higher on your list. I think that would be because he's played at their level while just being picked later.
Yes, that's a good way to put it. Just he is a similarly talented cornerback. Now, I'm probably taking Stingley and Sauce's careers. Like, I think they've been a little bit better, but they're top 5 picks. There's a big difference between what you expect to get at number 3, number 4, than what you expect to get at 21. 21's a crapshoot more often than not, right? 21 is very much a dice roll if you look back historically. It is not consistently starter. If getting a quality starter, there isn't even like the expectation at that point in the draft, and they got a perennial All-Pro. So yeah, to get that guy, that draft, it was. That draft, that 2022 draft, was a franchise-transforming draft. It's what spurred those multiple Super Bowl titles since then, because all of a sudden the defense could actually hold their own with the elite offense that the Chiefs had up to then.
And so how does that compare? Now, part of it's because we don't have the whole career. We'd have none of the career at the pro level of Mansour-Lane. But how does that compare to what your impression is of Mansour-Lane going into this thing? Like what he should be? What should reasonable expectations from Chiefs fans be for a guy that they traded up from 9 to 6 and was the first corner off the board?
Yeah, I mean, being Trent McDuffie, I don't think is a reasonable expectation, right? Like, being a multiple-time All-Pro, it's just – that is extremely lofty. I don't care even if you're a top 10 pick, but I think the expectation should be that he's at least, as good, if not better, than Jalen Watson was last year. I think the expectation is that this is a guy who should hit the ground running. He has a lot of experience throughout his collegiate career, a lot of different schemes, and a lot of NFL translatable schemes where it's like, that's why they went up and got him, is because they couldn't afford a drop-off. They didn't want a guy who was a project year 1 that maybe year 2, year 3 he could turn it on. They wanted a guy who's ready tomorrow. And to me, in this class, that was Mansour-Lane.
Yeah, we're talking to Mike Renner, CBS Sports NFL draft expert here in the program. Let's continue with the Kansas City Chiefs on your list. You've got Josh Simmons up at 33. Is that because, does he rank so highly because of the risk that came with taking a kid coming off the kind of injury that he was coming off of, and the fact that he's been out on the field, and that's the risk reward of getting potentially a true franchise left tackle that late in the draft?
Yeah, I mean, to get pick 32 to turn into what looks like a quality starting tackle is just an extreme rarity. I mean, just go out and look at the best 10 offensive tackles at both left and right tackle right now in the NFL. You probably have 5 or fewer that were drafted at 32 or later, and it looks like Josh Simmons is about to be one of those. It is just a position where it is difficult to find outside of the top 10 to 15 picks historically, and to find that guy at pick 32. Yeah, that's why it's one of the best. And again, this is kind of even hedging. He could even be higher than this if his career arc keeps pointing upwards and he really does stay healthy throughout his rookie contract, because, Chiefs fans know pick 31, pick 32, they've had a difficult time with those picks. FAU, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, they ranked a lot lower than Josh Simmons did at that position in the draft.
What was your opinion of what he was and what he would have been had he stayed healthy that last year at Ohio State?
Yeah, I had him right up there just from a pure on-field tape grade with Kelvin Banks, Armand Membu. Now, I still prefer those guys a touch because I think they're a little bit more physically imposing, a little bit more in the running game. But Josh Simmons, the way he moves, you just knew that guy can pass protect at the NFL level. There is just a way to use your hands and feet in unison, a coordination that is uncoachable that he obviously had. And it's just, was he post a pretty bad injury for a 300-pounder? Was he going to be the same guy? And that's why it falls to where he did, and why him looking like the same guy, or a similar guy at least, is incredibly encouraging that early in his career.
I know his grades showed that he wasn't that great in the run game last year, but he doesn't seem to have. I remember Jason Kelsey saying one of the things he saw from him was a great punch in his hands. Now, that's usually pass protection stuff, but one of the knocks on him was that the estimation was that at minicamp he was looking like he was I think he said he was 285. He was wanting to get to 300. You mentioned not physically imposing. Is it because he is? He looks like a WWE wrestler. I mean, he's definitely going to – the guys you talked about, he wins the beach body contest, right? The pose down is going to go to Josh Simmons, but it's a position that requires you to have a little bit of sumo to you, like don't move.
Yes.
Is that the fear factor, is that he doesn't carry the weight and maybe doesn't have the interest in carrying the weight?
I think so. And again, that doesn't – if you're running like a pure outside or just zone scheme in general – not going to be that big a deal. That's you're going to want to prioritize the athleticism, but that's not been the Chiefs' offense. That has not been what Andy Reid's done anytime in the last decade or so. So, like, the ability to move people off the ball, as you said, at some point, it's what does 285 look like against 330 DT sitting in the B gap? It's just going to be tough when you can't match pound for pound, and also tough against holding up to bull rushes. At some point, you just need to have the mass that's tough for someone to move, and so. At 285, again, I think he can very much get by, and it'll help him in certain run concepts, but there will be others where it just won't look quite as good as, a guy who can really hold 315 easily.
Do you think, I don't ever remember him, and everybody, we talked about it, he only played half the year, but we don't ever remember a time where he got trucked. And we know what truck looks like. I mean, God bless Joe Tooney for stepping out and playing left tackle in their run to the 24 Super Bowl. And he did as much work as you could possibly expect for a guy who's probably an undersized guard being asked to step out there and play tackle. But the Eagles just bull rushed the hell out of him, and it was a big part of why they lost, right? No offense meant to him, because he was taking a bullet for the team to try to go out there and do it. But I don't remember Simmons getting ever really shoved around. I mean, I do believe the weight is important, like I said. I mean, I think you need that mass. You've heard it, I'm sure, a million times, but for listeners out there, lead in your ass is a term that, offensive line coaches will use. Like, basically, you're anchored. You can't be moved. I mean, have you ever seen him? Did you ever see him at Ohio State or San Diego State, where he was just getting, outstrength, just moved off a spot?
No, because I wouldn't call him weak, right? I mean, in terms of muscle mass, he's holding what you would expect a starting tackle to hold, right? He's pretty diced up. Like, the guy is very, in terms of body fat, he has to be one of the lowest amongst starting tackles in the NFL, like maybe the lowest. So he doesn't lack that. And a lot of, bull rush holding up to that and not really getting walked back is technique, and a lot of times arm length. If you can get to the guy first, if you can re-leverage with your hands, you can stand him up and, not have issues with that. Obviously, Joe Tooney was not used to, hasn't had to deal with the long arm bull rush since he was, at NC State playing left tackle. So, I do think that Josh Simmons, like I said, I'm not worried about it. It's just we're haggling kind of over a high end here.
Let's talk about George Karlaftis. You've got him at 50. He went towards the bottom of the first round. You mentioned how that's, more like a second rounder than it is, you should be lumped more with those guys, maybe even third rounders, than you should be a top 5 or 10 guy that comes in the draft. Is that where it was, getting a good, solid defensive end? That's what I would call George Karlaftis. Up that high is beating the odds?
Yeah, I think it very much is beating the odds. And, the middle of this was, I guess, 95, 96. There were 191 draft picks over the first round because of, who was it? They lost the pick. Miami lost the pick over the whole Tom Brady thing. So to get him where they got him. Now, if he was, a top 5 pick, he probably would be maybe like a little bit of disappointment. Trayvon Walker and him are probably similar players in terms of their production over the course of their careers, but Traylon Walker was number 1 overall. So he comes in a lot lower on this list. But to get that guy, again, at pick 30, was huge for a team in the midst of a dynasty, right? Like to get a reload with at least a quality, competent pass rusher. No one's going to mistake him for Myles Garrett anytime soon. No one's going to mistake him for Will Anderson anytime soon. But he's a great scheme fit. He's an every down player, and he's been consistently productive. Again, those guys have a lot of value, especially when it's in the trenches, especially when it's a position that, like offensive tackle, you can't find the elite ones outside the top 15 to 20 every year. It's just very difficult to. Those guys go early. The athletes are known. The NFL identifies them, and more often than not, they go higher than pick 30.
We're headed into year 5 for George Karlaftis. You know, you usually don't break out this late in your career, although he is very young. He was very young when he came in. I think he's still 24. I think it's like he's only 6 months older than the older defensive end from Miami in this year's draft, Mesidor. Mesidor, thank you. So like that gives you an idea of, he's already got 4 years under his belt. But Trey Hendrickson did break out in year 5 as a member of the New Orleans Saints. Now, I probably should have looked at this. I just had the thought, well, I'll go check his snap counts. Did he not get on the field, and was that it? Or was there just some epiphany that happened? Like, is there any room, since he is so young, that there is another level for George Karlaftis to go to, or do you think it's likely he is what he is?
I think guys can always improve, especially, again, like I said, someone who came in as young as Karlaftis was, who was not as everyone knows his backstory. It's not like he grew up playing football and just like seeing it day in and day out. So like being more around football the way he is now. I think there's always room for improvement. But like to compare him to Trey Hendrickson, I'll just say Trey Hendrickson, if you looked at his testing coming out of, I believe it was FAU, right? Or FIU. I always get those two confused. He had elite testing numbers. So he was an elite athlete who was kind of in a rotational pass rushing role there for the Saints before really breaking out. I believe it was his last year with the Saints. He had a really good year. That's why he got a big deal from the Bengals. And then with the Bengals, we obviously know what he turned into. But Karlaftis was not. He was not an elite testing athlete the way that Trey Hendrickson was. That's why he fell to probably just 30 in the first place. So in terms for a position that's so physically demanding, I'm not sure, again, like he's not going to have that next level to be all of a sudden, Will Anderson. Yeah, I think he is what he is. Could get better, could get more technically consistent, but probably always going to be kind of a tier 2 to 3 pass rusher.
I can't remember the number, but correct me if I'm wrong. You were talking about the athletic scores on Trey Hendrickson, so I'm sure you would know better than me. Obviously, I'm sure he tested very well. But what didn't he? Because I think we were digging through when we were, everybody had the Chiefs going, defensive end in this draft, and a lot of people wanted him to take Reuben Bain, and he came in with I don't remember what his arm length was, but it was really short, and. We were pulling like highest sack totals from guys with arm lengths under whatever. And Trey Hendrickson's name came up. He is short-armed, though. While he may have great athletic traits, he is short-armed, isn't he, for the edge?
Yes, and Karlaftis is too, right? I think they both are under 33 inches, which is kind of an outlier for that position.
Yeah, okay. I was just curious. And then, all right, but he had the higher athletic scores. I didn't want to hear that part. That's not what you were brought here to tell us good things.
32 inches on Hendrickson.
32 on Hendrickson? Okay. And what was Karlaftis? Look up Karlaftis while we're talking here. Let's talk about Xavier Worthy. He also cracks the list at 81. I think some Chiefs fans might be surprised that he's that high. Now, he got hurt early in the season last year and probably never recovered. In fact, he had more surgery at the end of the year, so he clearly wasn't playing at 100%. He, too, is young, just barely 23 years old. In fact, his birthday was in April, and he turned 23. Then he's already got 2 years under his belt. This would seem more projection, or am I just misreading how we get down there and the guys start falling off pretty fast?
Yeah, with Xavier Worthy, I think the trend in recent years that we've seen of these smaller wide receivers, it's not as if they can't play at the NFL level. These guys all have gotten so injured, whether it's him, whether it's Tank Dell, whether it's Hollywood Brown even, whether it's just a lot, Garrett Wilson this past year, a lot of these guys who came in under 180, this smaller wave of guys who are just like, they can be light because it's an athletic-based league now. A lot of them just haven't been able to hold up to the rigors of the NFL. So, unfortunately, I think that's Xavier Worthy is like. When I watch him run routes, when I watch him play the game, he's obviously their most dynamic target, and he looks like he should be, a guy who's going for a lot of big plays in a year. Should be 1,000-yard type of wide receiver, but injuries strike often, and when you're banged up a little bit and you're a speed guy, it's like, well, as soon as the speed threat's gone, what are you? If you don't have that and you're 160 pounds, you really don't have much at the position.
Yeah, so you would agree, Ladd McConkey, who we championed here, should have been the pick.
Well, there's another guy who was undersized, and he's been banged up too. So all these guys are getting hurt. So I'm trying to think of my board back then. I believe I had Ladd McConkey just ahead of him. So, yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah, okay. Is there any way, what should the Chiefs learn from down the list towards the bottom? Felix Anudike-Uzomah at 168 and Clyde Edwards-Helaire at 170. Is there what are the lessons the Chiefs should take away from missing with those picks?
I think that's hard once you get down to that late in the draft. Most drafts, pick 30 versus pick 50 isn't a huge difference. And so I think the idea of trading back should be very intriguing to teams like that. Now, you don't get the fifth-year option, but the fifth-year option's not nearly as important as it used to be. So to kind of keep this flipping over, because the roster got really expensive, right, and we've already kind of seen having some cost-cutting measures with this team, just that, like, hey, we can load up on picks on day 2, day 3 more often than not, because Brett Veach's been so good at that realm of the draft. Late hits in day 3 in the secondary, a lot in day 2 as well throughout other positions, linebacker specifically probably. It's just like, okay, we don't have to stick at that first rounder if we can start generating more draft capital in the future.
Yeah, I love the trade down idea, but someone's got to be willing to trade up, right? And if everybody knows that this is 30 is no different than 50, why would anybody trade up there?
Well, not everyone knows that. A lot of teams are always thinking they know exactly who the player is that's going to be what pushes them over the edge in this year's draft. So for the Chiefs, you're not looking for the guy to push you over the edge. Patrick Holmes pushes you over the edge. You're looking for the guy that can just fill a roster spot for you competently.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense to me. How much can we tell? We're talking right now with Mike Renner from CBS Sports. How much can we tell, in 20, like I always hear, like during the draft, people are like, well, next year's draft is way better. And I think that comes from, well, first of all, how much do you think that any team really knows how good the next year's draft is before they've even taken the draft in front of it?
Well, here's that. We do always hear that. And in defense, I will say 50% of the time it's true. That's just the law of averages. Half the time it will be true that next year's draft is better. So if we hear it every other year, then it's true. I do think you can know to a degree who will be the blue chip guys. You can know picks 5 through 10 if there really are dudes sitting there waiting a lot of times. Like you knew Drake May, Caleb Williams. That was a draft where you knew those quarterbacks a year out. And like everyone knew we were going to be sitting there. You knew Trevor Lawrence a year out. He was going to be sitting there. You knew guys like Jamar Chase, Penny Sewell, that year's draft, Micah Parsons. You knew that a year out, that they were already guys. So the blue chip guys, depth is hard, and I think especially getting harder in the NIL era because you don't know who's declaring anymore. I think there's we saw it very evidently this past year with a lot of guys that there were running backs who I thought would have been top 100 picks, which used to be just auto declare going back to school because they're going to get more money to go play somewhere in college than they are in the NFL. And there were quarterbacks who could have been first rounders that, 5 years ago, no brainer. You go out, you go to the NFL that are now back to school because again, it's $7-8 million to come back to school and they're getting paid there. So it's almost as much as they'd be getting year one if they're picked, 10 in the NFL. So I do think that the depth of any given class is difficult to project, but the blue chippers aren't. And I think what makes 2027 unique is that there's so many blue chippers this far out. And they're always, there's so many this far out, and there always ends up being a few more guys that play their way into it. So if there's so many known quantities that are blue chippers now, there's even going to be more by the time the actual draft rolls around. So that's why I think people are talking about 2027 as being special, is because there's already so many guys where it's just like, okay, that we know already. So it could be on par with something like 2021, where if you look at that draft, the top of the draft, every non-quarterback taken ended up turning into like a superstar for their respective team.
Yeah, I'm glad to hear you say that because that's my theory. Like when people call we'll take calls and people are like, "Oh man, next year's draft, it's this and that." Like, you want to know why that is and why I think even the clubs do it is because when you're watching tape on a guy who's draft eligible, the guys who are insanely good pop. And so you know all those names. You're like, wow, this guy's going to be a player. This guy's going to be a player. And so, yeah, oh, look, this guy, that. But then there's, another 200 picks that you haven't even looked at. And you got to grind through all the riffraff and find out who might have a trait that you can develop and everything. I feel like you have validated my opinion on that. So you made up for previously not making us feel good about the Chiefs there. So I appreciate
And I do think it's interesting to just one more point. That 2021 draft that I touted, it actually ended up being an extremely thin draft. So if you didn't have a top 15 pick, it was not that good after that. And day 2, day 3, it wasn't good. But, people touted it up as wait for that class. Well, the class ended up being amazing if you had a top 15 pick.
We're talking to Mike Renner. Time for our final four quickies for you, Mike. I'll start you with this. The number 1 overall pick in 27 will be who?
I'm going to say Arch Manning. I think, yes, it's the name that's on the back of his jersey. I think it's more that he actually is a very good quarterback, incredibly physically gifted. But also then the last thing, the name on the back of his jersey, who is the GM that needs a quarterback that's drafted number 1 overall? It's going to say, let me pass on the next Manning. I don't think anyone's going to want to do that.
Okay. Who is the best talent evaluator in the NFL amongst the GMs?
Oh, gosh, that's, probably a half decade ago, I would have said, the Loomis-Ireland combination in New Orleans. I think they had done so well for so long. But they've just gone off the deep end in the 2020s. I mean, it's hard to argue with Brett Veach, truthfully, and not to guess you guys tires up just because I'm on KC radio, but he does a lot with less consistently, day 2, day 3. And obviously, how many of those first rounders that we just talked about were in the top 50 despite not having premium draft capital, and then being, the impetus for the Patrick Mahomes pick always gives you some leeway. So hard to go against him. I'm trying to think of who else out there has been exceptional with their draft capital. I mean, off the top of my head, I can't. Nothing's really coming to mind right now. But
okay,
yeah, I'll say Brett Veach.
What was your thoughts on Mahomes coming out of Tech?
Ooh, did not think he'd be what he is. That's why I'm not an NFL GM. I mean, I thought you were going to see much more of a roller coaster type. I thought you'd see a little more Jameis Winston than who he has become in his career. I was, incredible player to watch, but I did not expect him to just be this consistent machine at the quarterback position.
All right, and finally, what do you think the Chiefs' record will be? We're not holding anybody to this, just right now. The injuries can happen, all kinds of things happen. What are you feeling? What kind of season for the Chiefs?
I think 10-7. I think the defense is just, you're going to miss the pieces you lost, unfortunately. And offensively, yeah, Mahomes could be back post ACL, but it was ugly last year, and they didn't have turnover on offensively. They didn't really reload outside of the running back position. Is Kenneth Walker really going to move the needle that much? I don't know. So, and then the last thing, just being this division is all of a sudden a very good division. The Chargers and Broncos are Super Bowl contenders for the first time, since Andy Reid got there, that they both are. So, for all those reasons, 10-7.
Mike Renner covers the draft for CBS Sports. He does a great job of it. Mike, thanks for the time, buddy. We appreciate it. Hopefully we'll talk to you again down the road.
For sure. Thanks so much for having me.
All right, the LaFetta Delicatessen, end of the hour. Answer on this date in 1989, Rangers-White Sox 5-player trade. I asked for any of the 2 players.
89, Sammy Sosa.
That's 1.
Wilson Alvarez.
That's 2.
That's what was coming Chicago's
We
way.
also got Scott Fletcher.
I don't remember what was going Texas route.
Fred Manrique and Harold Baines.
Ooh, Harold Baines. Pretty good deal for the White Sox.
2 Hall of Famers.
Not bad. Not bad.
Exchange, or Sosa would be, maybe, someday.
He is a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
He is a Hall of Famer in my book and should be.
So is Bonds and Palmeiro,
Clemens
all those guys.
and all that. It's foolishness. All right, thanks again to Mike Renner, making us a little bit smarter about these NFL draft picks. And again, congratulations to Tim Grunhard. Hole in one today.
Finally accomplished something.
Finally did something with his life. We're back at it tomorrow. We'll see you too.